Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good to be back on the closing argument. It's good to be back, Dr. Peabody. Good to see you, brother. Um, it's good. We are all back, and a lot of news trending in the country. It's good that we are all around. So, um, Dr. Peabody, welcome, man. What's up? I can hear you. Doc.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Chief Tomalin, Jar, how are you?
I'm bad.
How you been, boss?
Well, my man, getting ready for my trip to Liberia in the next few days.
Okay.
I can't announce when I'm leaving, when I'm arriving. I can't announce it.
Yeah,
I know I'll be also when I'll be in Liberia soon. So
you will have some visitors if you announce it, bro.
Yes.
So
yes. First, let me just give this news. Is I just got a report, but it's not true. It's not. It's not. It's false. Today, Liberia and Namibia playing South Africa, and they were reported that two Liberian players ran away, but that's not true. I just talked to the ministry of officials, and they say that's not true. But Liberia forced Namibia to a 1-0 draw. Namibia scored in the second minute, and Liberia equalized through Terry Sackler from LPRC, equalized in the 66th minute of the match. So Liberia and Namibia played to a 1-0 draw today in South Africa. So Namibia's fee is banned. That's why they play in South Africa for. Just how our fee were banned before, their fee is banned. So South Africa was their home ground.
wow.
Yeah, so that's the news about two players running away from the team. That's not true. The players are intact, and so just don't give it credence and so forth.
Right.
But again, Liberia forced Namibia to a 1-0 draw, and Namibia scored in the second minute, and Liberia equalized in the 66th minute through Terry Sackler, who plays for LPRC Oilers in Liberia.
Oh, but you see the thing, Tomalin, they can go and equalize, draw a game away, and then they come back in our country and come back home and they beat them. So they're not really a team that you can fully depend on. Say that for now that they have. So we can't even say. I would say they did great, but I want to see after the whole thing what they're going to do. I really want to see what they're going to do and stuff like that.
Yeah. But how do you call it? Meanwhile, reports from South Korea says that the South Korean government have promised to invest through the African Continental Free Trade. They have promised to invest about $1.4 billion into Africa in the next up to 2030. I know our own president Joseph Boakai met with the Korean president, President Yoon, with the president of Kenya, Madagascar, Liberia, and Ghana. And President Boakai also addressed the conference. And we hope that Liberia will benefit from that South Korea African Summit for the first time. Maybe our foreign experts, foreign affairs analysts, the neo-progressive Sylvester KP, we can talk. I think the next 1 minute or 2 minutes, just talk to us about our South Korea, Liberia, Africa conference. Tell us what they're all about and what Africa hope to gain from it, and also Liberia in particular. You are muted though.
Thank you. Wonderful good evening to you, Tumani Josh, the incoming strategic representative of one of our strategic district in I'm already on the campaign team. I've appointed myself as a pro bono political advisor to the campaign team.
Wow, then I can be strong, man. Yeah. What?
Dr. Peabody will be our religious advisor and social affairs
advisor.
If I run into the Orange Grove, Peabody calls me as a victory for me. No joke about it.
Oh yeah, Peabody got another project, social project group.
I was with the guy in Orange Grove. They posted the men should run. The men are big. We are politics from behind me. Then you might go. If they met, if they met this, yeah, like, they're always good at family. Whenever I say I want to run there now, their family they will call them family and say, what are you doing so?
Exactly.
The Peabody are well known Orange Grove, so yeah.
Yes, wonderful going to our very resilient listening audience from all aspects, from radio land, from the social media, and the rest of it. I think it's important. The Koreans are trying to tap into the Asian geopolitics, and it's important here. The Chinese got a major partnership with Africa. The Chinese Africa Summit, we have the JICA also from Japan, the Japanese African Partnership, and the Russians also got the same. It's about blocking them. Africa's a very strategic continent, and the rest of the globe try to connect in different sort of diplomatic intercourses in terms of how they will connect to that aspect of Africa and play more pivotal role into Africa and the strategic nature of Africa in terms of creating partnership with them. They're going to be kind of a development partnership, but they want to have some huge, Africa is endowed with a lot of resources. So the folks want to tap into those kind of a thing. So the Korean process is very strategic. The level how we're going to leverage our own foreign policy instrument. It's good that the president attended this process. I can remember we went a little bit on this in the chat room, and I was saying the president aspect, the Constitution, the framework of our Constitution. That's the reason why I say the president is the chief architect of the foreign policy instrument of the country. The reason behind that is for the presidency is the president is the most powerful person, the most powerful source of any power in our country. So the president representing outside the country, it gives us some very value significant in terms of pushing up our foreign policy instrument. So along with the current president, Moon of South Korea, and tapping into that. Remember, Liberia also play a major role into our diplomacy process we have. They are assisted with the South Korean partnership for very many, many years. And they've been doing some very strategic work, particularly even with the foreign ministry. There's a new fleet of vehicles that was just distributed in recent time to all of the assistant ministers, almost 10 of them. Brand new 2023 vehicle, a brand new Hyundai vehicle, state-of-the-art vehicle, brand new. Those vehicles were given to the ministry, but then we were still doing the Georgia administration during the reign of former Minister D. Maxwell Sakimia. But again, they just distributed those vehicles, and it was the Korean government. I can recall also when we went in, the vehicle we knew were also given during the days of the Augustin Clay Gafan when he was Minister of Foreign Affairs. The Korean government created an enormous partnership process in terms of technical capacity building with our foreign policy and some of those things. They've given some major support, and they are willing to get into leverage into what we can do. So with the amount they're trying to push, if we were to strategically engage the Korean government, we need not to go beyond receiving vehicles from them and some technical support. We need to talk about some major bilateral engagement. For instance, what can we give the Korean? We can allow them to come and do some assessment. They can come and explore the kind of area that we intend to invest into our country. But we can also, I want to believe, if I were part of the president's strategic thinking in terms of projecting our foreign policy process, was to push the process about the role in Lofa, trying to talk to them to look into the World process. So it's a strategic dual interest the Korean got. The Koreans want to leverage this to move more deeper into Africa like the Japanese did. It was part of that we got the Japanese free will today. The Japanese are even waiting. Before President Weah left, there was this engagement about, I can recall, the Kimia administration as Minister of Foreign Affairs engaged, and we're talking about expanding from the Gibraltar Tucker Bridge all the way to the St. Paul Bridge, headed towards the Hotel Africa and doing the overswing line over the Hotel Africa connecting towards Iron Gate, the Bomi and Poporu Highway. They were trying to expand that by doing it a 4-lane road and the rest of that. So we can push into that and make it's important. It comes with a significant importance with the president's visitation there. This, what we call in diplomacy, this sit-down meeting is very pivotal. The fact that the president will have a handshake and sit-down meeting with his Korean counterpart, and this is one of the industrial and very productive country in Asia there, for instance. So it's important that the president is there, and if we can leverage this, trust me, and we're going to have a lot more. So let me commend the president for making this breakthrough. It's going to be a very important process, and it's going to significantly impact our foreign policy instruments, something we've been having some issue with. The George administration promoted it to a certain level on a serious note. We brought the country back to the, Madam Sadi set the stage for us to come back to the Committee of Nations because we were considered a pariah state since 2005. Immediately after her inauguration, she brought some level of significant boost towards our foreign policy instruments. So with this visit of the president, and that is the reason why the president needs to take advantage of going to strategic summits like this one, the Chinese partnership, the Japanese, the Chika, and the rest of that. Those are important partnerships, and that's one of the reasons. Now we have to sit and tell Washington it's important that you believe we want to be a major ally in Africa. It's important that you need to start to show some face in Africa and do this. We need to have that agent that can penetrate Washington and speak some diplomatic languages to them to understand and begin the process of doing some major thing in there. Instead of all the time sanctioning our government officials, they can tap into it and make Washington to come and play a major role in trying to not co-opting Liberia to remain consistently on their side. Remember, the Nigerian government just asked Washington to leave. The American will be removing their troops from Niger very soon. That's a major concern of security concern of the West also, because the government fear that Russia should not penetrate that region. So they fear that the Chinese and the rest of other countries, that's the reason why America is now pushing her partners, her allies, to also penetrate their influence into Africa. That's the reason why the Koreans are doing so.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for that perspective on the South Korea African Summit that just ended, where our president was in attendance. But it's good that Liberia were represented. Let me welcome some of our viewers. I see.
It's important, yeah.
Yeah, and welcome. I see Mr. from the top, Christian Roberts, always the first to be, James Koyate Jr., Juj Wanwe. Tomorrow is Koyate birthday. Happy belated birthday, James Koyate. Gawe Bawin, Liberia's Impact, Peter White, Patriotic Liberian. Also, I see Mozart Denens. He watching from Minnesota. Ija 05. I also see Big Brother Edwin Kura from Delaware. I see Winifred Smith from Maryland. Rose Gehring, Matthew Ondole, Martin Willie, KP Country First, Muha Koni from Ganta, watching live from Ganta and Nima. Cyril Dopo. I see my own auntie Elizabeth Bowen from Gettysburg, Maryland. Esther Clark Fredericks. I also see the veteran Liberian political analyst, Comrade Mansfield Dopo, one of Liberia's finest political consultant or expert, how you want to call him. If you want to know about foreign policy and politics, you want to have him on your team, Mansfield Dopo. I also see Dr. Howard Jones. I also see Bill Sompe. I see our own rescue sister, Kari Coleman Port. Our own rescue sister, Kari Coleman Port, the proprietress of the Kari restaurant in opposite SKD complex. Yes, you want to go to Liberia, you want to visit that place, you have good, any kind of food you want to eat there, good food. You want somebody to cater for you in a program for catering, just call on Kari. What Kari didn't have their stuff here. People won't get it.
Yeah? They have it at the SKD, right? What?
The flyer for the
the flyer, we don't have it, but we're doing a great ad for her. We're doing a great ad for her.
Yeah, so if you have any catering business, whether government workshop, seminar, anything you're doing in Liberia, you want somebody to cater for you, call on Kari Coleman Port. Yes, you have the best. In fact, the best so far right now, anything you have in seminar, anything, just call Kari Coleman. We'll put a stuff before the show, and we'll put a stuff up for her, for them.
Yeah, because not only the food is very tasty, and not only the location is great, but the food is very tasty. You go in there, comfortable, nice, great food. I mean, the menu is so rich when you get in there, man. You just feel like you're at home. I mean, when you eat, be careful. You probably not be able to get up because the food is so nice and rich. You have all the all the ingredients you can think about. You know, every ingredient. One of the funnest Liberian restaurant I ever visited in Monrovia. And
That's when I arrive in Liberia next week. If I side, I have my side, but I'm not telling people what time when it was my go. But now I blow email dry restaurant on Saturday for sure. They won't know what time, so I'll be there. I know. Yeah. But guys, it's good to be back, man. First of all, before I get into the show, just tell us what on your mind quickly, and then we can get into the show.
Look, Tony. Let me tell you what, guys, and let's also encourage the guys to share the show as well.
Yeah, please share the show.
If you have time, share the
Yeah.
show, guys. Share the show if you have the time. And then last week I made an announcement, Timothy, on Monday, that
Yes.
if you want to promote your business, your program, okay, we are here. We can promote it. We'll do a small ad for you and we'll promote that for you because this is our way of keeping our program going. This is our way, we are not being supported by anybody. We are trying to make this happen because a lot of you relied on us to bring you real great information. So that's why we are here to promote. So I mean, as you go check the cash app up, I mean, every now and then, whatever contribution you can make, let's do it. But we're trying to do a lot of ad. We are doing ad for folk and a lot of people in a way we can keep our show going. You know, it's expensive to maintain StreamYard and every other stuff, but we're keeping it going though. We're keeping it going. I mean, we'll not let you down, but we are rolling it. You know, so if you can do it, we're gonna put the cash app out later. And if you want to help us. But that's the way we keep it going. We're not being supported by anybody, but we are making sure that we bring you the news and hold this government to task. But Timothy, what's on my mind? What's on my mind is the LTEA saga, the BT that took place, and the languages that are exchanged, the fighting that went on. Look, man, it was crazy. I'm looking forward to have a discussion on that because I see a lot happening. I think the president took the right step to suspend all those involved. He did the right thing, and I must commend the president. You know, the president acted very fast in suspending them, but I hope he goes farther. You know, because we have seen people in the past suspended and then they recycle. But I think the morale of LDA is dead, and somebody needs to go back and restore that morale. But I want us to discuss that. I mean, that's what's on my mind today.
What's on your mind, Pee Wee?
Thank you. I think there are a lot of things being playing on around the process. Well, I believe sincerely, you mentioned Memphis Duopo. Let me say hi to the CM Cumbria also.
Yeah, that's a good guy, right there.
I can recall at the University of Liberia there was a time one semester he taught me one of our political science courses at 360. Foreign policy development. My emphasis was in international relations. So he's a very rounded, very polished big brother that I respect and got a lot of respect for. But is it? I've been basically looking around this process that is currently unfolding in the country. This issue about what unfolded the LDEA a couple of days ago. It really troubling me, and I believe with the video that just came out, if I was the president, on a serious note, to give the government to restore some level of respectability in that sector, I would think those guys feel the process of even being there as we speak. The president should move and immediately dismiss all of them. It's unfortunate to see a group of professionals that should be, because there's a credibility problem now and there's a trust issue that's revolving the major security sector. That's a paramilitary institution. And the high level of regimentation should be accorded to those individuals that superintend the activities of certain institution to come out and breach the confidence reposed in them by His Excellency the President, who of course is the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Liberia, contrary to the respect to the Commander-in-Chief in terms of military in terms of regimentation. They should be dismissed immediately, or resign, that they failed the president to expose certain institution into public disrepute. I think that's actually playing on me, and we need to look into that very, very carefully in the rest of that. Another thing quickly before we could turn over to the chairman is this process about us as an institution coming to focus on our foreign policy. One of the major things we can do is to redirect and build our foreign policy process that can help our country move forward. President Sirleaf played into that and helped to elevate her government significantly. President Tito, never he was successful to do that, and that also helped to push him to where he is today. It's important that we take note of that and bring people that can play the role and expose our foreign policy, those that got the requisite credential to do that, the connectivity, the rapprochement, the personnel, and the rest of that will push and elevate that process on behalf of the president. The president himself have to play a major role into that. So those are the two major things I think that is playing on me. If we could have the opportunity, I would be very glad to go into them. Thank you.
Welcome. The chairman is here. A very nice purple shirt, man. That's a nice color, chairman. Always look different, though. Chairman. The chairman. I see they feel the chairman, being in a gospel mood. There's a lot of gospel music on his story. And man, I know he said he was thinking about his father the other day. Peace to his blessed memory. I know that moment come in your life, everybody's life, when you think about your parents sometimes, But just before I bring the chairman, let me say again, the news about 2 Liberian players escaping from the team in South Africa is not true. Liberia did play in South Africa today against Namibia, but because Namibia's stadium is this president banned, but the game ended 1-1. Namibia opened the scoring in the 2nd minute, and Liberia equalized in the 66th minute through Terry Sakor, who plays for LPRC Oilers. So that's just want to give you an update about that. But chairman, what's on your mind?
Thank you, and it's good to see you guys. Always good to be on the show. There's a lot happening. We are following what's going on in the country, from LDA to Seoul, Korea, to all the, it's just that sometimes you wake up, you're like, okay, what next is about to happen when it comes to Liberia? Well, I do want to say, I think we've seen pictures from Seoul. We've seen some bilateral engagements from the president with his Korean counterpart. I understand today he had a chance to hold bilateral discussions with President William Ruto of Kenya. That, I think, had to do with Kenya's bid to chair the African Union Commission. I think that meeting was requested in an effort to win Liberia's support for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga's bid. William Ruto is trying to get rid of Raila Odinga from challenging him in the next election. So he's played a very smart game to champion the cause of making sure that Raila Odinga becomes the new AU chairperson, and that election is in February of next year. I think I'm still waiting to see some of the headways from Korea. I don't know if maybe I missed something. Peewee is the foreign policy guru here. But I'm seeing other countries. I'm seeing Kenya getting Korean Exim Bank financing. I'm seeing Rwanda. I'm seeing Sierra Leone. I'm seeing all of these countries, right, making strides, signing MOU, and I'm asking myself, where is Liberia in all of this conversation? And let's put this in context, because this is the government that should have been ready to do all of these things, right? Former Vice President, now President Joseph Boakai, was Vice President for 12 years, had access to a lot of these players in the international circle. He has a foreign minister who is well known within the UN circle and in the international organization circle. So we're waiting to see what the dividends will be. Listen, we're hoping for the best for the country. We want to see the country do well. We may have differences politically, but if the country succeed, we all succeed. So I'm waiting to see what the you know what President Boca will be coming home with. What's in the package for Liberia? What are we discussing? I understand there's some technical conversations that were happening, and they said we should follow up. I don't think that's enough, right? I think for a high-profile visit like this, I think he should be able to beg some things. For when you have a small country like Korea, that we had a higher GDP at one point in our life. I think in the 70s or in the 60s, we had a higher GDP than Korea, than South Korea, the Korea now. When you have a country like Korea summoning the entire African continent to to visit Seoul, you begin to scratch your head as far as what are we doing, and why are we so mediocre in the way we have carried out our functions as a nation. On the issue of LDA, I think it's a disaster over there. I think the president acted. I think he suspended everybody without pay. Hopefully, this doesn't become another situation where the suspension just go on or somebody gets reinstated without any. It's a clarion call that with the issue of drugs has to be dealt with in our country. There's a lot of accusations flying, counter accusations flying. We're going to be monitoring that to see what that means for the country in the war against drugs. So I'm looking forward to having a fascinating conversation today on these respective issues, and as we dig deeper in what we need to do moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me recognize my older sister. She's today her wedding anniversary. If you know the president of the Trenton Old Timer Association, Hector Weah, my nephew, his mother, Ria Weah. Today she celebrates 44 years of marriage to my brother-in-law Hector Weah Senior. So happy wedding anniversary, Sister Ria, 44 years of marriage. It's not an easy thing. She's in Trenton there, and a retired registered nurse. And that's my mother. In America, if I do I may you're mad, you'll call her. She will deal with me. That's the person who can still beat me. Yes. But today her wedding anniversary, I recognize her for that. And also I pray for safe travels for my niece Buddy. She's on her way back from Liberia. Hope she arrives safely today. But with that being said, let's get into this LDA issue. I know I put some. There's somebody that the chat room was having exposed. I put in the chat room there the recordings. It's a serious thing. Let us not take it for a joke. We all watched the video just all on social media. So people send it to us, and anything could have happened in that office. Somebody could have opened fire. Somebody could have gotten killed. And I mean, you saw the video, and even the recordings in our chat room. Listen to it. And even from the chat room conversation, anything could have happened. And the president, I'm glad he sees the moment to act yesterday, but that's not the first time. The first time anything happened, the Minister of State, who's president, the acting chairman of the cabinet, Ambassador Grisby, the National Security Advisor, Kofi Woods, the political advisor, Magdalena Cooper, they all got involved. And I said on the show, I said, that discussion, no peace were gonna exist. And now today the president have acted suspending the director A.B. Kroma, the deputy director of administration Bawu Oko, and the deputy of operations Hassan Fadika. I've spoken to all of them already, but for what I can see from my eyes, I open the discussion that no one, I don't know what will happen, but there's no way the three of them can work together. There's no way. The president had to take some action. Somebody had to be fired or removed or transferred. But we reached out to the people in government, the Minister of State, who's the acting chair of the cabinet, the legal advisor, Councillor Keita, to ask them what's the start of the investigation, who's doing the investigation. And I'm told that the investigation already started. But I want you guys to give your thoughts on it, at least 3 minutes each person, at least to share what your thoughts about what happened and what you feel or what you think will happen, or what will all come of it. And because somebody could have gotten killed, honestly, somebody would have opened fire and would have been talking a different story. and there have been a complete dark cloud in his government. So, Brian Peabody, I mean, you can open a discussion with this LDA.
Look, man, Tomalin, I watched the video, I listened to the recording, and I think what I deduced from it was there were uh, an era of gross insubordination by Mr. Fatika. And he came up with his explanation yesterday, but some of the things he said were just too damning. The first thing he said that uh, 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 AB had Madingo people with him. I don't think we would tolerate uh, that kind of thing in our culture. I think it's wrong. If you are pointing saying things to AB, I don't think on national radio you say he brought his Madingo people with him. I mean, I say he brought rebels with him as well. And one thing I listened to, he said AB was the one that recommended him for that job. That doesn't mean that AB was right or AB can disrespect him and all that. But I think it was very clear. Your boss said, "Hey, nobody come here with arm." If you felt it was not safe for you to go to that meeting, I think you should have walked away. You should have just said, "Look, I'm not going to be part of the meeting," and all of that. But he said some very damaging thing, and then in the end, he said he regretted his decision. So it means that what you did was wrong, But I think, in all fairness, I think he disrespected his boss, and which he shouldn't have done. Uh, 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 AB, as he said, AB brought in some old rebels, people that were not part of the group. If that was true, that was also wrong. But I think Hassan Fatiga need to be held responsible for what happened there. I'm not a fan of AB. I don't think that he should have been at the LTEA as the head, but I think he was disrespected by Hassan Fatiga, and that should be taken considered as well. He disrespected him as his boss, and he was recommended by AB. And I think that's just that's deception, and that was wrong.
Thank you. So I'm wrong with the same mindset. I'm a little bit confused on the issue about. I agree what unfolded, quite frankly, is totally unacceptable in terms of that's a major paramilitary institution in our country. So regimentation is very important. Every officer at the senior level have to be well regimented. The fact that and the debate started from this side, the rest of the other, and AB is saying, "I recommended you to come and work here." I don't know. He admitted himself that he normally goes to AB to ask for some petty cash and the rest of that. That's a big brother. But it's unfortunate that you have to expose the LDEA. It's a very major institution, exposing them to the way that they the last time. They desecrated the major role of the institution due to said process. I believe that's one of the reasons why I say I thought, well, the rest of all of them should resign, if the president should remove them. But if they are not trying to conduct the investigation, I'm not privy to those information coming out, but I would hope that what the investigators will find and they will inform the office of the president. He got the sole authority. No one said the authority of the president. The Constitution said that, even the vice president does not. So the president got the sole authority to take decision. But basically, I think we would love to bring some level of coordination in the kind of an institution to fight drugs. It's a threat against our national security. The way that the drug process penetrated the system in our country today, every community in Liberia is now infested with some level of drugs. Every community. There's no community. Before you say, people will say, okay, this community, no. Every community, and every household, if you want to believe, very soon we're going to have these things. So we need people that will be well rounded with some level of serious respect and character to work in those kind of institutions. And you need coordination because it's about information sharing, it's about coordinating, gathering intelligence and sharing information. If the deputy is saying that the head of the institution is colluding with a drug law to bring in drugs, it's troubling. So I think the decision taken yesterday by the president was not only a decision that I would say the president proved to be very firm, and he exercised the authority of Article 50 of the Constitution, that's the executive powers to obtain the presidency, and also Article 56 of the Constitution. So the president, at the same time, simultaneously exercised two major of our articles to prove that he is the boss, and no one is the boss in the country but the president of the republic. Suspended them immediately without pay and getting them out of all government privileges and the rest of that. It's important that we note here moving forward. That should be a kind of a warning to would-be troublemakers that will want to sit in government and believe that they are men of themselves. They are demagogues. We don't have no demagogue. Those demagoguery attitude have to be removed from the government line system. But if you serve government, you should be there to serve the people, and respect and respect should be given. I can recall President Weah stated in the last cabinet retreat I attended in Downtown, July of 2022, no, 2023. Yes, the president stated clearly that you don't have to like your deputy, you don't have to like your assistant minister. You are referring to his cabinet. He said, for what you do, you need to respect them if you work together. It's the level of respect. You don't have to like them. The president said there's going to be a zero tolerance around the issue of those that would just want to believe they are men unto themselves to just move into institutions and believe that that's a private entity. No. So the issue of respect and coordination is important into a major institution like any other institution in our country. So I believe that was a major decision taken by the president, and we hope that we will have most of those things fixed and move the country forward. It's about the DEA being framed, coordinated in a way and manner that we expect them to do. There was the legislation done for that institution, so we need responsible people, not reckless and individual that would want to be in a more belligerent line. Talking about someone brought thoughts. Ex-rebel and the days of belligerent action are all over. That's the reason why we demobilize most of the people. We have the demobilization process. We don't want to remind ourselves of the days of no, absolutely not. So I would hope that the president's decision was very firm. I support it. I think he's my man today on that decision. I look forward to the final one that he'll be taking after the findings of the investigation.
We live on Truth FM. We live on Hot FM, YouTube, and also Facebook, our closing argument page. We are live. We are live, so you can tune in to watch the show live. I want to say thank you to Rose for contributing to our Cash App. Rose, thank you for the contribution to the TCA. I want to say thanks to those who are sharing the show. We appreciate you guys. Keep sharing the show. And again, as Peabody said earlier, if you want to advertise your business or anything, contact the closing argument. We can do advertisement for you live here on the show for a little amount to keep the show going. So you feel free to contact any one of us who can get this, support the show to be on all the time. We want to make it 5 days a week. Once we get support, we'll make it 5 days a week. Right now we are 3 days a week. So try and let's see how well we can beef it up. But Chairman Ben, I was told that the guys at the LDA, they wrote the justice minister, they wrote complaint before. I'm also informed that several senators have been involved in this LDA issue. Senator Snow, Senator DeLon, and you name it. A lot. I mean, the Vice President Kuhn, all of them, they are in the know. They have been involved in this LDA or Walhalla. But up to now, I think the president is also aware. But Chairman, I mean, where you have reached, you watched the video. What's your thoughts about what's happening right now? What do you think will happen at LDA, and what you think will be the outcome?
Well, and I'm going to be very fast to get the other folks involved. But let me say this: a couple of things that I think is happening here. Clearly, I think these two gentlemen, I don't know if they can work together. I think there has to be a decision made by the president. Only him can make this decision. This war on drugs, the issue, I mean, from what I understand, the drug issue is a priority for President Boakai. And so he has to take some leadership here. But from what I have seen, the videos, the audios, and all of the chat rooms and all of that, it clearly shows you that these two guys cannot coexist and work in a harmonious environment, especially for an entity that is as important as the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency. So I think what needs to happen here, I do believe that there have to be some consequences here for the level of disruption that has been brought into the operation of that government functionary. But I think the president needs to put his foot down. I don't know if he's going to let both of them go. I don't know if he's going to split them up, because who knows, if you even split them up, if you send one or two of them to another government functionary, what what it says that they're not going to go ahead and carry that attitude. You know, a lot of people want to work in government. A lot of people come with the attitude they want to serve, but at the end of the day, working in government is a whole different ball game than working in a private sector setting. So you know, so I wish them well. I wish the government well. I hope they figure this thing out. But there have to be some seriousness attached to this, and we'll wait to see what the president will do when he gets back. But I do not see how these two gentlemen, or the three of them, the other guy, I know he's very professional. I've heard of his background. I know he was at one point he was about to be tapped in the Weah administration to be at the police. So I was very shocked when I heard some of the things. But then again, foul languages in military settings is not something that is out of the ordinary. But when it gets to the point where you are disarming somebody or there's guns involved, then we can see where the urgency comes from. But I don't think they can work together. And I think the DEA needs some kind of new breath of fresh air to be able to, you know, hit the restart button on the war against drugs.
Grace, welcome. Grace, you think you agree with Ben? You think what happened at the LDA? You think somebody will the first casualty will come from there? President Burger will fire someone or reassign someone, one of these guys? You think they all will come back together?
Thank you, Tomalin. Somebody who needs to be muted.
That's a background, yeah. Somebody.
Well, you know, insubordination on any job is toxic for the environment. And I know Ben was saying that, you know, in that kind of, you know, uniform kind of setting with military things and stuff like that, people can use words. But then when you watch the video, it was just too much. I don't think the president made any good judgment when it came to term on suspending them. I don't think that A.B. Kuma should have been suspended. When you watch the video, that's why you read it. That they went to his office and he said that he did not want them to enter his office with arms. I mean, that's your boss. He said he doesn't want you. You have to send no memorandum for that. If you go to your boss's office for a meeting and say, okay, I don't want people to enter here with arms, I mean, you respect the order, and then later on you can channel your disagreement through a professional manner by writing, you know, and complaining to the upper level of your upper level from your boss. But the part where the insults and the fighting and stuff like that was not right. I think that the president should actually fire Hassan Fatiga because he's supposed to even know better. And I just think that they didn't even give them proper training, training on the job. When I mean, I'm not taking away from what he had learned, but when you get to a new environment, when it comes to job, you're supposed to go through trainings on, especially the policies and you know, what the people expect of you and all the kind of thing. I don't think he had that. So when he went there, he just went there with his own pompousness. It showed too much pompousness to me. And I just feel that A.B. Kuma was really treated wrong. And I will say again, I don't know A.B. Kuma. And I'm not here to defend anybody. I'm here to say what I think. I'm here to give my opinion. I don't want that to be the kind of sign that we send to our future generation of children that it's okay for you to go to your boss's office and demand certain things. It's not right in the workplace. So we should understand that, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. In this party, I don't care how much thing he built against Abraham Kurman. I don't care how many evidence he had against him. When it came to that particular time, when that thing happened, they were wrong, period.
Kelabo, you've been in government, you serve in government. I'm sure you are, I don't know whether you are working in a toxic environment of what's happening at LDA, but some people are saying that one of the factors causing this problem is that people they have not really been trained in Liberian civil service or Liberian going through the academy, whatever the case. So all of these things come into play. Bringing somebody from overseas to come into a system is different, and in a security setting, in a governance setting. What's your thoughts that what happened at the LDA?
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I'm sorry if I got on the show late, but to begin with, I think Liberia is on her own. In public service in Liberia, like in Ghana, Senegal, and other countries, they have programs where civil servants are trained, not presidential appointees. Civil servants are trained to the culture, the ethics, and what is expected to do. Because public service is basically service delivery. You serving the public. So to just take someone like a brownfield and just put a person in the office, and that's actually the culture in Liberia. If I'm minister today and I know Rawa Gwagwa, I can just hear Rawa say, "Hey, Rawa, my man, you're a special assistant to the minister." He start working. What does Rawa bring to the job? He brings what he knows from Atlanta, Georgia. He start dealing with the people on the basis of that. But in this particular instance, I watched that video over and over. I watched that yesterday. I watched it this morning. And I kept laughing to myself. And I also listened to Fadiga yesterday on Spoon, where he said, God, this video that is going viral, he is the one who recorded that. He said he got his iPhone that I think back off data and what have you. They thought they took the iPhone from him. But then what they didn't know, there is a backup which he didn't have access to. He's going to make it available. So then I started seeing that. When I watched the video, and I said to myself, if this is what Fadiga said is the evidence of what happened with the Kroma office, then he's a very dull man. Because the video is indicting himself and he released it to the public. Then what kind of security man is that? That he doesn't even analyze video that actually indicting. Look at Ben, we can talk about the firewalls and what have you, but these guys, A.B. Kroma appear calm in his tone in the video. And is a Bau Cow, my own Philadelphia brother, that is loud. In fact, he started using the F words first, then followed by Fadiga later. And the one that even got to the point where Fadiga is telling Abraham Kroma, F up when I'm talking, don't talk. I mean, and he released such a video as evidence that this is happening. I just laugh. But I will say this. I think I agree with Grace on this one. Bau Kohu and he's my brother, but I have to say, and Fadiga must be fired. You should fire them. And Fadiga in particular must go. Should not come near any public service in Liberia, at least for 2 years to learn from his mistake. Because this Bawu guy and A.B. Kroma worked together at the National Police. There was no friction. I think A.B. was his boss, if I'm not making a mistake. I think he was assistant something to A.B. He was lower than A.B. There was no friction. It is Fadiga instigation that God Bawu believes in matter. You love security job. You did criminal justice at Temple University. That's why he loved. So for him to even change overnight and follow Fadiga believes he has a sense of entitlement because they will consider themselves part of the rescue mission. A.B. Kroma was not on the rescue train campaigning, so maybe. Okay. I'll close on this. A.B. profile in the security sector in Liberia is huge. This guy has been in the security service forever. When we were all at the University of Liberia, he was with the CID. I remember when we were doing agitation, I saw A.B. Kroma at the police station, So he has been around the security structure. He understands Liberia security architecture, So I think he's somebody that has value.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that was still 3 minutes, so we'll allow us to discuss. So we'll bring Robert Gagwa. Your thoughts on this?
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I shared a different opinion on this matter. First of all, I think that the suspension was necessary, and I will give Joseph Boyka some credit. Yet I thought that he acted swiftly, and there's an investigation going on. This idea that bringing folks from the diaspora to work in public service, a government in Liberia somehow it's not a good thing. This is strange to me that we're even insinuating this, right? Because 95% of the folks that have worked in government are from the diaspora. 95% of the, including AB schooled in America, right? Unless we want to argue that those who have worked and stayed in Liberia, those who are part of the status quo in Liberia, those who are part of the political system, should be favored more so than those who have not worked in government, who have not served or stayed in Liberia for the same amount of time that these guys have stayed. Unless we're making this argument, I think that this is a very dangerous argument that we're making. That somehow you must be part of the status quo to be considered of value to your country. This is the reason why I believe Ali's comment was not considered. This is the reason why I believe great men and women who are not corrupt, who are not part of the system, are frowned on. This argument that A.B. Kluma has been around for a long time, he's been working in public office, is the same argument that we frowned on during the election with Joseph Boakai got 40 years of experience. And some of the questions we asked was, what has he produced? What has he produced? 40 years of experience working government, granted. What have you shown in these positions? And so if we're going to ask Joseph Boakai that kind of question, then who is A.B. Kluma that we can ask him, what has he produced? What value has he added to the Liberian National Police? What value did he add to the CIA?
Oh God! The thing is that we're not talking about the value he added, what he did, what he didn't do. We're talking about what happened in the office that day. And I hope Gagwa can come back to speak on the actual thing that we're talking about instead of just going. It doesn't make it right,
Listen, no, but you can chastise a Fatiga for what many would say unprofessionalism, and you can speak to the particular issue here. But when you start mixing the issue that we're talking about to asserting that this guy has not been in Liberia for a long time, you're not sure if he went through training and all of that stuff like that. What kind of training Fatiga has actually AB has actually gone through other than being in that sector for a longer time and have worked in government in that sector for a longer time? I mean,
That's the experience, Bravo. The experience.
Okay, the experience, but just because you're working, do you know how many people who work in this country that have better training and more experience than A.B. Kluma? Just because you're not working in Liberia doesn't mean you're not coming from the sector. No. Are you telling me that a guy who work in hotel management in Liberia for 20 years is more experienced than me because he's working in Liberia for 20 years? I would never make that assertion that I'm more experienced than someone because I've worked in America for 20 years and he or she has worked in Liberia for 20 years. This is what I'm hearing here. So let's speak to the specific issue. Now, this whole thing about boss, A.B. Kluma, the buck stops for A.B. Kluma. The issue that is happening at the DEA, A.B. should take responsibility for that. Because A.B. is the boss of the DEA. That means he's the elder in the room. If we must talk about all of these experiences, then part of that experience should be about managing crisis. Part of that experience should be about how do you deal with a person, a deputy, who you may be considered as challenging, who may be considered as very outspoken, who you may consider as not a yes sir kind of guy. How do you deal with a guy like that? What has he done? Has he shown leadership in this case, in his conflict? No, he hasn't. He's actually aggravated this stuff. He's the guy who started doing press conferences. He's the guy who started talking to all of the different things on in the media. When the situation happened the first time, did you see Fatiga on the radio? No. Did you see AB having press conferences? Absolutely yes. Who was the guy who called the other person a kid? Yesterday, when the situation happened, AB went online and started talking about this man is an advocate. And when people come to the system with an advocacy mindset, this is what happens. You don't speak to a grown man like that. And who look, AB wants to have a meeting with someone, and my boss want to have a meeting with someone and tell me, well, you cannot bring gun in the office. Okay, I should come in your office without a gun. But it's okay for you to have guns in your office, and it's okay for you to have folks in your office with guns. But it's not okay for me to come in with guns. So what is the intent here? What is the intent? Who is able to disarm a deputy? You disarm someone and you retain them in your office. You subject them to assault. So if anyone must go, I think the president must fire AB and Fatiga. I don't think we should just put all this burden on Fatiga. AB has led this nonsense. He has failed when it comes to the DEA. All of the crises that has happened there, he has failed to manage it. Fatiga is not the director of the DEA. AB is. And so
Raul, quickly, why will you carry arms in your boss office?
We're running out of time.
Why will you carry arms in your boss office? Why will you carry arms in your boss office?
Let me progress, guys. Let me progress. Okay. The fact of
both of them are still arms. I don't
okay, you don't make progress now.
Why would AB say I don't want arms in my office, but he should have arms?
That's his office.
They carry arms all the time.
Okay.
So if you don't want arms in your office, why do you want arms in the ghettos? Why do you want arms in the ghettos? Why do they assign them guns?
You don't make progress. Okay.
Why you don't want arms in there?
Okay. Yes, the situation. Some people are saying that the way in which the guys were all appointed, and again, it comes to governance, it comes to leadership, because that's why it's important. When I listen to the elections, the candidates in elections, some of them were saying, look, when they're making appointments, you have a vetting committee. That's why people do in this country. They do they have people before they nominate you for a position. It's a process because but look how the people were appointed. The stories all coming up. One person say, "I recommended you." The person said that my ex-wife recommended you. The person said that Stanton recommended you, and how the poor guy appointed in that kind of manner. It will be chaotic. I think the president, especially with the Drug Enforcement Agency, that's most of our population they are involved with drugs. So they should have really done the country the proper diligence by going through to put the right people in a position, let people go through the process, not appoint me there and say me that someone recommends who will be your deputies or whatever the case it happen. But before let's Ellis Jones, who can move on. Ellis, we'll give your 3 minutes on this issue.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen and lady. It's nice to be on the show, and I've heard all you guys' argument. But what I've done here so far is how we have a civil service administrator in Liberia agency. That agency, according to the Liberian government, is responsible for training, selection, for seminars of all public servants. Okay. And they receive $14 million in the budget for 2024. I heard people say, oh, the foul language is expressed in the military and security. I disagree. Not to your boss. A 2-star general is never going to tell a 3-star general, F you. That would be considered gross insubordination, especially in the argument. If you're drinking at the beer table, that's something different where you're joking. But in security and military, you ask for the most discipline. So in that setting where someone can insult and use foul language against the boss or the commanding officer is completely unprecedented anywhere in the world, much less in public offices. So I think the problem here, another thing I did some research, I go into journalism in Liberia, and I talked to a lot of people, and I think we're going to be digging at the bottom of it. As I mentioned, we're going to be announcing. I'm the editor now for paper.
But why are you laughing?
So people are going to be in trouble.
We're going to journalism now.
A lot of people are going to be in trouble because you know something? Your politicians there, You know something? Your politicians that have no real jobs. Their job is to run for office. Some of all got real career and real job, and real businesses and what have you. But let me tell you something. Number one, what I heard or what the story is with this whole AB Kurma and Fadiga thing is AB Kurma collected some kickbacks and he gave Fatiga and the other person a very minuscule of that amount. That's what's been happening. And we're digging on it, we get the amount, they're being a payoff.
So
And so
wait. So all of them were in a team together, and then he collected
correct,
the money and getting small.
correct.
That's
And we're
talking
going
to
to be
remember
published.
and understanding.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. As you'll be hearing, there's a cartel, and these people are being involved in the paybacks and so forth. And Fadiga went into the system because people, Ebi Kurma is new. Ebi Kurma is not a street individual. I don't know, most of you know him from city, from the police or whatever. So he may be in the security sector for a long time, but I won't consider him one of the Liberian people who stand up with lots of integrity and moral stuff. He was used during the early administration. He was appointed because he was part of the gangsterism in Liberia, and so they sent him there at police station to go there and early even fire him. This is facts. This is not opinion. All right, for conduct unbecoming. So the real story is they are mad, and this is what's been happening. And so that's what brought the friction. And nobody understood why two people, somebody will recommend somebody, will start working with them, and all of a sudden you just get this, breakdown. It's about the kickbacks that they were getting, and Fatiga, and according to my sources, the kickback they were getting, like for instance, to like 20,000, even come out with 15, and when they get them 5. So that's what's going to come up, and hopefully we'll get a story on a real detail. The second thing here is the Liberian government is
30
broken.
seconds, brother. 30 seconds.
Just 1 minute, just 30 seconds actually. The Liberian government is broken. Part of it is broken because the deputies and the assistants, from what our sources, from what we research, and I talked to some experts in the Liberian government, they do not report to the minister or the director. They report directly to the justice minister in the case of the security and the president. So to call AB Kurman the boss when he does not report directly to him is another problem. So that needs to be fixed, and we'll have good governance. They've been saying now getting $18,000 a year. They haven't done anything. The civil service administrator who's supposed to set these people down for orientation and tell them how to resolve conflicts and how the standard procedure, they're not doing anything. So that's part of the broad problem. And like I said, you're going to have more of these problems because fundamentally the Liberian government structure does not work. It's broken.
Let me just clarify. In Liberia, the justice minister, he's the chairman of the Joint Security of Liberia, right? And those who report to him, the National Fire Service, the Bureau of Immigration or Liberian Immigration Service, the Liberian National Police, and the LDA report to the justice minister, who's also Attorney General. And then the NSA boss and the EPS boss report directly to the president of Liberia. So whatever the case, as I said earlier, we just have two minutes each on the discussion of LDA. We'll move further. But again, just tell us what we'll start with Peabody. What do you think will be the outcome of this investigation? What do you think will happen? What's your prediction from this investigation?
Tony, honestly, the morale of the LDA is dead. Let's be honest here. The drug cartel have won. They have succeeded in dividing the two so-called most trained officer or the intelligent who could deal with the drug and thing. They have succeeded in dividing them. But I think what I would recommend here to the president, I think that the both officials should take the exit. Even though I felt Fatika was very disrespectful to his boss, and some of the languages that he was using and some of the term. I mean, as I said earlier, if you come in there, your boss say you're not bringing a gun and you're mad, then just walk away. Say, I'm not coming to the meeting and leave. You don't have to put a brawl. You don't have to go that far talking about you are a federal agent trained DL-12 and the other men say, oh, you're a God man and all those things. And then it result into fighting. What if people have died? What if property and things would have gotten damaged on that. But you don't even have a good building already. It already look like a mess that you have your office in, and then you are fighting there and trying to attack each other. I think for me, I think AB should be reassigned, but I think Fadika should be fired. I think he was very disrespectful to his boss.
Peewee, what your prediction that will happen at the investigation will happen?
I think of basically, before I can get that, I mean, a few seconds, let me say to my brother Chuchu here that the CSA institution does not regulate the activities of the DEA and the rest of that. We have said it's not all government institutions. There was legislation, it's an autonomous institution, so it's not under the direct control of the CSA. I did thought to bring that clarification to you under the structure of the government bureaucracy. Now, I would hope President Joseph Yuma Boakai is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Republic. So he also command and control all of the paramilitary institutions. He now set up an investigation panel headed by the Minister of Justice, which is the Attorney General of the Republic. I would hope that the investigation report will come in soon and the president will take his decision, final decision. But here is it. In terms of military regimentation, basically, my brother Rawa was saying, he's in his office as the head. He's in the mayor of his office. He can carry his firearm in his office. But you are not allowed in terms of, under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you are not allowed to take weapon in your superior office. No subordinate officer should do that, to take weapon in your. That is not about our argument. It is on paper. It is the process of regimentation. You don't carry firearm in your superior office. Nowhere in the world. Paramilitary institution, military institution, you don't do that.
Can I ask you a question?
I come in 1 minute. Go ahead.
So if that's the norm, that's one thing. Is it been practiced? Because if that's the norm and it's been practiced, why would AB want to tell Fatiga, I do not want you to come to the office with firearm? What does that tell you?
Yeah, AB is reminding him of his responsibility. He should have known
but
that.
If it's a norm, then Fatiga would have known, I'm going to my boss's office and I'm not to carry guns. Why AB had to specifically say, I need to speak with you, but I don't want you to come with guns?
AB is reminding him, it was a flagrant disrespect on the part of Fatiga to even take weapon and disregard of the rules. This is something, and he said he's a purported federal training agent. There's no federal training agent would take weapon in his boss's office. That's one of the reasons. Even if you are headed, even the chief of staff of the Republic of Liberia, the armed forces, would not carry weapon 1 inch close to the office of the president, though. No. You are disarmed there and all the rest of it. It's proper regimentation here. It's a rule. That was a flagrant disrespect and gross insubordination to the office of the Director General of the LDE. It's one. And I will hope that the president is going to take the final decision to suspend who he's going to suspend or dismiss, whosoever. But that was serious disrespect to the process there. Everyone, if you are trained law enforcement officer, we have to keep in and respect the rules of engagement. And the rules of engagement is in line with the entity. Now, the LDA boss, as per the legislation, is the chief administrative officer in the LDEA. He commends the process. All reports should be submitted to him, and he will report to the Attorney General of the Republic, and the Attorney General will report to the President of the Republic of Liberia. So the processes, all of the things have been happening. That's why there's a serious bruises now, bad blood there's terrible chemistry between those leaders in there. So the President will have to move. I will anticipate 2 things going to happen. And yes, but that's my prediction in terms of as a political pundit. The President either remove the 3 of them, or AB Kurman going to stay and the both men going to leave. That's going to be the end of the result. Out of 3 of them going to go, or AB going to remain as the head of the institution, Fadiga and that of Bawu Ko will have to stay. And I'm very disappointed in Bawu. I've tried reaching up to him. He's an instructor of criminal justice administration. He should understand the policy here. He should know this. He worked before briefly with the Liberia National Police as one of those things. He was even tipped, Madam Sadi's time to be police chief. It didn't materialize. He was moved to the finance ministry to help them. I think Dr. James Colley and the rest of the folk moved into the Ministry of Finance, where he worked with the Ministry of Finance for some time. And then all these things happening. I will anticipate something from the president. I'm not the president, but I will predict AB going to stay, the both of them going to leave, or all 3 of them going to go. That's my prediction.
Chairman Sanvee, we are live on True FM, Hard FM, YouTube, and on our Facebook page. We also want to say thank you to those who are contributing to our TCA Cash App account to keep the program going. We appreciate it. And also, if you want to advertise your business or anything you want to do, advertise live on the TCA, please feel free to contact one of us on this platform. and we'll for a little amount, and we'll be able to work things out with you and advertise your business. Chairman, I think let me put you in a situation, because you see, one of the advantages you got, you've been friends with how many presidents now?
About me, man.
Okay, who is that in the situation? Okay, President Boyga, what do you think if you are actually advising? First of all, what should be the final action from the president? The second thing, if he decides to get rid of three officials, who you think you're looking at to help the DEA? Because here's the situation, though. The Peabody said the morale of the DEA now has dampened. People see it now. We're hearing a lot of things happening. That a lot of bombshells taking place. People are saying that people in the government are part of this cartel. People they are accusing people from the legislature or the government, they're all in this cartel. That's why people have been protected. We hear revelations coming up that this cartel is just something that will not be broken easily. So people are saying that, look, right now you need somebody to take over the DEA, or you keep somebody there. But from what we're seeing, it appears that the three guys, I don't think they're able to take care the DEA again. But what are your thoughts and recommending who you think you might?
I just like I like Pee-wee's different options, because those are the options that eventually will happen anyway, right? They're gonna fire or Henry or AB, or they're gonna move Fadiga and the guy, or they're gonna move all of them. Those are the three options that the president is going to eventually have. Or guess what? I don't see a scenario where he keeps all of them together. I don't think that's even possible at this point.
No,
it's not going to happen. So I think, look, maybe there's a need for new blood in this process. Maybe there's a need, like I said, for a restart, right? Because look, whether we like it or not, this thing is going to get messy. Knowing the Fadigas, this thing is going to get messy. If it comes off from that investigation as they were wrong, or now when I say they, I'm not talking about the twins, but Fadiga and the other guy, because they seem to be a team. The Bao guy, they wrote the letter, right? They seem to be a team that is in the business of that they wrote the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, pretty much throwing the boss under the bus to say, listen, it almost appeared like it was a coup, right? Your principal deputy and the other deputy writes the head of the Joint Security to say, listen, this guy is involved in this guy is involved in this. Let's try to get this guy out at the end of the day. So that may happen. Where the president is going to have to manage this is maybe some good is going to come out of this, right? Maybe if they decide maybe the birds will decide to sing. Who knows? Maybe Fadiga will explain, because I understand he mentioned yesterday on Spoon that he confirmed. The question was asked, are you accusing AB of being involved with drugs? And he said, yes, I'm accusing AB of being involved with drugs. That's a very strong allegation to level against the head of the Liberia DEA, right? That's why I said it's going to get messy, but it may be maybe some good will come out of it if he can provide evidence. Let's also not forget that if he does provide evidence, this warrants a criminal charges. If the head of the DEA is involved with drug related activities, he stands to get arrested if the evidence is strong, right? So we need to tighten our seatbelts for a little bit. This thing is going to get a little rocky before the ship stabilizes. That's why I think a reset is needed. The president will have to, and I don't think they can afford to sweep this under the rug. I don't think they can afford for it to just be another situation where they will come up and they will just say something and it will be done and say, you know what, these people are going to go, because I don't know if they're going to just go away. My only issue here is there has to be a reset button. These appointments are political appointments. AB was appointed obviously because of his role in the rescue mission. Fadiga was recommended because I think AB ex-wife, it's all public now. She recommended him, and they decided to work together. So there have to be a reset. I'm sure there are qualified people even in the DEA. Maybe the president needs to look within the DEA and elevate somebody who is of reputable stature to be able to take this thing up and running. But
what you think? show some names out there, Ben, just in case. I mean,
honestly, I don't know. I will be very honest with you. I don't know about the DA like that. Like I said, my advice would be maybe look internally to boost morale of the guys, because it was a political appointment, right? AB has never been in the DEA. Fadiga has never been at the DEA. Maybe something like what we were talking about, the fire service. Maybe the time has come. Maybe let the president look internally and elevate somebody to see from a merit-based process to see how they can go about doing this. But this thing is going to get messy. I can assure you that it is going to get messy, and you're going to hear a lot of accusations and counter accusations flying at the end of the day. Let's wait to see what they do with those accusations and those information that will be provided out there, because this has a potential to destroy all of their careers. This thing don't only have local implication, it also has international implication, right? Fadiga has a life here in the U.S. I don't know if he's a U.S. citizen, but all of these things have different implications. That's why it is very sensitive. But we'll wait to see. We'll give the president the benefit of the doubt. Let him come back and make his decision.
Then the man, the U.S. citizen, the man is a federal agent. So
okay. Well,
yeah.
So
he's a federal agent. So I'm not saying that. You're not saying that. He said he's a federal agent. So
to be a federal agent, you have to be a U.S.
agent. Yes.
Because the U.S. government support the DEA, and I'm sure that video gone to the U.S. embassy. They have circulating in Washington. What do you think the U.S. looking at that video and all the accusations coming about? And you think they're going to put their money in or they're going to make conditions that something got to happen before they put any funding in that entity?
My quick 30 seconds, they're not going to spend any dime on the Liberia DA in the current state. They're not going to do it. They're not going to waste their money. They're not going to. In fact, if I were a guessing person, I would say there is pressure right now from the U.S. government on the president for a reset of that place, right? Because drugs is an important issue. You know what happened in the past when it came to the issue of drugs. You know how the U.S. government is adamant and is connected with the Liberian government when it comes to this issue of drugs. Somebody just wrote, maybe ask for Pio. I don't know. Ask for Doggy has been, we call him Doggy, right? Doggy has been waiting in the wings. Maybe this may be his moment where he to spring up. Yeah.
But don't forget, they've been sharing intelligence with the DEA. So that the U.S. wanted to share.
So they're not going to get money. They're not going to get money until
those kind of polarizing and very toxic figures.
They're not going to get money until a credible leadership is in place over there. They're not going to do it.
And I just want to point out. Let me just point out here: head of the DA does not necessarily has to be a security person. It can be a competent administrator, even head of the Ministry of Defense. Because the issues that's happening at the DA is an administrative and management issue. Okay, you can get any technical people, operational people, but if you don't have good managers and technical, I don't want you to sell an idea. And lastly, you were laughing when I was telling you this had to do with money, and you yourself said Fatiga came out and said that AB Kroma, was accused of corruption.
Okay, can I
downplay that? That is a fact.
Here's the thing, though. All the things that we hear at the accusations, I mean, no evidence will show it. They say, evidence.
No, but this is coming. This is coming from the operations of drug. This is coming from someone.
Yeah, but
is the director.
Tomalin, like Alex is saying, you can't discount it.
I want to say no. I'm not discounting it.
If the deputy director for operation, is
telling you
the director of the LDA
involving
drug trafficking.
Because yesterday they asked one of them asked the question what the evidence he said when the town council produced.
Exactly.
I'm sure but
I'm telling you, I'm breaking a story here. That is the crux of the problem. It has to do with money and kickbacks. Trust me on this one.
That cannot be confirmed. I want you to put the word alleged there, please. Because
I said, according to my source, this is what happened. And the DEA operations director confirmed it, saying that the director was corrupt and he's getting kickbacks. So
can we be quoting the head of the movement to make Liberia better as a newspaper now or magazine?
Can I book here? Give man 2 minutes, man. Finish, so we'll move on.
All right. So here what I would say. I think initially asked the question, what do you think will happen? My take on this, my expectation. I think one possible scenario, all three of them will let go. The president is likely to let them go. But if it does that, for me, that would not be a better option, because it's like it will show weakness that you are not able to pick among the three to say one of them or two persons were actually wrong or have contributed to the Western situation. So this is where leadership comes in. You should actually be able to say one person or two persons should stay, and one person is a problem. The person should go. My suspicion is that Steve Zago at immigration, they may send him to DEA. He's a lawyer. He's a trained security guy. He been with the police. He been with the CID, and he's a lawyer by training. So and he also politically savvy. So I think Steve Zago might likely go to the DEA, and maybe Colonel Kroma might go to immigration, or if the president wants to keep him, but if he gets rid of all of them, those are for me the possible scenario.
And why do we have to keep recycling?
Where I think experience does matter in any job.
Other people don't have experience in Liberia.
And also
security area.
And also
security sector. That's a security sector.
The profile you bring.
No, what I'm saying. So other people don't have experience in Liberia security sector.
Alex, I think the show is not about that debate. I listen to Raul.
No, I'm asking you a simple question.
Risk coming.
But I don't want to even question that, okay? Because the show is not about that kind of.
No, it's a simple question. Yes or no? Why do we have to keep recycling?
All of us do have. They may not have the profile, that suits also Steve Zago.
I give Grace 2 minutes. Grace is coming, yeah.
Yeah, after we've been talking for 5 minutes. Anyway,
after everyone has been interrupting me for 5 minutes, I think you should call
it. But let me just say, we kind of a little bit deviate from the actual stuff that happened because with all the other allegations around it, and that's why I'm disappointed in Fatiga. I wanted Fatiga to build a case. When you are in that kind of situation with trouble with your boss and you think there's kickbacks going on and he's actually committing a crime, you build a case and then you present your case. It's professional. People will look at you much better than when you go about the way you went about it. So coming back to the issue, what happened was insubordination, and this happened in Taylor's time. I don't know whether you remember, it happened during Taylor's time. Milton Terji, he was fired. And then when it came to any justice, and the answer G from the information ministry were also fired for insubordination against their bosses. So the thing is that what is happening right now is what has happened, and the president should be able to read it or investigate the case on what has happened first. And I think that Fatiga and the other men should let go, and A.B. Coman should stay in his position. After he stayed in his position, the letter that was written against him with all this information on drugs and everything should be investigated. And when he's found guilty, then they can prosecute him. But not to just remove all of them from the place and let them go. I don't think it would be the right thing to do.
Well, I'm hearing, people, before I bring up Robert, people are recommending though.
Yeah, they say you should be the head. Ben is deputy.
Because if anybody involved, we'll bring them to justice quickly. I get arrested.
But too many great were absolutely correct, Justin. What's great?
Yeah, but
Joe, what about Muniba and Nathan Tiaji were involved in the fist fight at the Ministry of Information? And
already news are coming up. People are recommending. You got Astro P, Mark Amblang, who was just appointed at the NSA, one director of police. Chris Massacre, I think he's old now. I think he's retired now.
No, he stayed fit though. He stayed good. I met him.
Man, he been there too long. It's about time that
also
experience.
Say Gabriel.
We want that old experience. That's why you got to cut.
I don't know who is Gabriel Greaves, but maybe they're all trained, experienced law enforcement people. But again, let's hear from you, Robert. 2 minutes. Let's hear from you on this before we close the topic.
Listen, if we're talking about experience, then why should we not? Why are we rejecting former police director Massacre? If the argument is that the folks in Liberia,
say that only put in they see me.
The folks in Liberia
you know, drug coming in the country, they still bringing the same people now who are head of security.
This is the issue, right? You
That's
know,
the same old thing.
we can have our cake and eat it too. You can't take one argument and say, "Oh, well, I think AB has served since I was a boy in the CID, and so I don't think he should be fired. If anyone should be fired, it should be Fatiga because he's in a new system and he doesn't know how it works in Liberia." Isn't this the part of the problem? That the people anyone who attempts to go and try to change the system, we know the system has a serious dysfunctional problem.
But Fatiga is not about changing the system.
Okay, yeah, but
Fatiga is a scammer.
But if you go to call Fatiga, look, I don't. Let me say
He's
this.
politically a scammer. Let's go into that. If that's the
Tomalin,
debate you and Ellis Jr. want, let's go into this.
I hope I can get my time back.
Yeah, go ahead.
How did I get involved in it?
But if you're going to call him, look, I have said that the Fatiga brothers have not been consistent. They have flip flopped.
Thank God.
Political parties.
Yeah, politically is scammer.
Is that the same guy who insulted Mr. Cummings' son?
But it was the very same guy who said, just 3 months after he re-endorsed Joseph Boakai, that Joseph Boakai was unfit to lead, that Joseph Boakai was too old to lead. And then he made the argument that Joseph Boakai was. So I've always said that when it comes to political choices and what is good for Liberia, the Fatiga brothers are not ones that I will take seriously. But this is beyond the point. The issue here is the lack of leadership. That's the issue here. And if anyone will recommend the dismissal of the deputy director of the DEA and not hold the leader accountable yet, the one who has been having a whole media spectacle of these issues, you talk about, look, it is wrong. In a professional setting, no one should be having fist fight. In a professional setting, no one should be using, vocabularies like that we've heard on those tapes. In a professional setting, no one, boss or not, should look at a grown man and say, "That's a kid." I don't care how cool you are. That's disrespectful. In a professional setting, you don't go on national radio and say, "Oh, this person is an advocate," insinuating that you are the experienced one. You come to the job with all of the experience in the world. These are all disrespect. And I want to go back to my brother Peabody's point. The reason why AB said you cannot come into this office with a gun is because any other time it has not been a problem when they've met at bars, when they've met in their little corners with guns. Fatiga has always had his gun with them. And so why is it suddenly now? Because, I don't want you to come to my office with a gun. What is the intent? What was AB thinking about? Why he didn't want a gun in the office, but he carries his own gun everywhere he goes? It doesn't make no sense. The bottom line here is this. I think that DEA is dysfunctional. They have embarrassed not just this government, they have embarrassed the entire country. And if anyone must be held accountable here, the boss must be held accountable. When things happen in leadership, the boss takes accountability. I've never been somewhere where they say, "Oh, if the country isn't going well, why do we always blame the president?" Because the president makes all the appointment, right? Do we blame those who are hired or appointed to do a specific job, and the fact that they fail to do it, we blame the president? So why are you guys blaming Fatiga? Why do you want Fatiga dismissed and not AB dismissed? I don't understand this. Both of them should be dismissed. And there should be some fresh ideas over there. But what's going to happen, to Tomalin's question, I think this is what will happen. The status quo will win. The system will win. Fatiga is part of the system. Fatiga knows people in government, and he's used this to his advantage. He knows the president. He knows that the president would not easily fire him. If anyone will go easily, the easiest decision yet to be made will be the dismissal of Fatiga. But let me just say this. If Joseph Boakai is biased in his decision, Tomalin, mark my word, this will be the beginning of the downfall of this administration, because I know one thing. The Fatiga brothers have facts. There are evidences here. When you hear him on Spoon talk about, "I did not come here to sign deals with drug dealers. I did not come here to hang out with drug dealers. I did not come here to sell my soul to drug dealers." He's not just loosely speaking. He's speaking from a first-hand perspective.
Raul, those are scare tactics, Raul. He don't have. If he had anything, he would have released them now. He will have
I'm
to
telling
release
you this.
them.
But
Okay.
I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. Watch and see what happens if and when this dismissal takes place. Watch and see
Okay.
what happens.
But yeah,
Okay.
question now, why he have to wait for the dismissal before?
Let's-
If he had anything, he would have released
Because
them.
he said I trust this president and I trust this president wisdom. So I will hold my peace until I speak to this president. I will hold my peace until I speak to this president. So I think
Okay.
that's why he's waiting.
You see what's happening? That we wait for an investigation is presently ongoing. But what I see happening is that politics is all involved too. Don't forget, AB's ex-wife. She's very close to the first lady, and I mean, and it's a whole thing that happening. A lot of things happening, and a lot of pieces together. So again, the reason why the Fadiga brothers are getting some backlash is because of the role they play in the politics of the country too. You know, and that's what's happening. Politics is a very dangerous game. And, you know, when you support a certain person, then you attack this person, they come back to haunt you in several ways. And people are not being objective. People are not being putting the country first. So forget about friendship, forget about relationship, and put the politics that happened to them during the course of the election, and they're all involved. But again, we see what happened. Like somebody just said, AB was wrong ordering his bodyguards to disarm his deputies. The deputies responded the wrong way. That's why all three should be dismissed. AB side when his bodyguards got involved in the confrontation. Okay, people look the videos there. People see all of these things that happen. But it has made progress. But again, we look forward to the investigation. I'm informed that the Minister of Justice, Councillor Oswald Twe, is part of the investigation. The legal advisor to the President, Bushi Ben Keita, and National Security Advisor Kofi Woods are all on the investigation, watching what's happened. Let's see what happens. When you form a
Can I
rescue
make a
government,
recommendation for somebody, please?
a coalition government, everybody interested involved. That's why doing the then again the question comes about. So if you're getting rid of man party on a nominee, again, it's a problem. That's why some of the endorsement, when it happens, you be honest. Say, look, you are endorsing me because for the good of the country, not because you want job, but politics against our interest. So everything involved. And so let's see what happens.
Politics that interest is a corrupt
Tomalin,
statement.
let me ask you a
It's
question.
a very serious
Can I ask you a
case
question?
because Robert, like somebody said, right now, the country image, the government image on this issue, President Baga has the first major test because he has the first major test to act as commander-in-chief and president of this nation. He already acted by suspending the two deputies from all the way in South Korea. In South Korea, he did that. Let's see what happened next. But again, with a lot of revelations that came out, people are spilling all the beans, what's happening, and some things we can't say. But when you listen to the guys on the telephone telling you things about this institution, you wonder that people, and yeah, what happened, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, already you have senators already involved. I've discussed this case before. Senators are already involved, including the vice president. They're all being involved. The minister of state, who's president, the acting chief of staff, acting chairman of the cabinet, they are all being involved in this one LGA problem. And yet to this point, they have reached this point where that video, I was scared. Somebody would have got him killed. Honestly, not. Somebody would have fired somebody, and then it would have been a different ball game. So President Baga, since God intervened and your government was saved from this national embarrassment where somebody would have got him killed, I think President Baga needs to act appropriately and in the interest of the country and for his government.
So let me just step in one.
I just want to make one recommendation.
1 minute, and then I'll go. What I would say here, like I listened to one of a veteran security officer, G Law Wastrap. He just shared with me. He said, "Look, man, one of the best person that can go to that DEA is the former National Security Director, J.M. Pearson. He was one of the first people that were trained by the United Nations for that position. And if he can go there, I think we'll do a good job. I mean, especially coming from NSA and going to
the guy who took the passport director job. The guy talking about.
They said the command need to go to passport, and then maybe he'll do some good work there, and then. But I think what I see now, the aura of the DA is dead, and it will require somebody who is well trained, somebody who have the patience, somebody who will respect their boss to really be a good. I don't think Kroma or Fatiga can do it. I think they screw up, and I think the DA is crying out for leadership. They screw up.
I'll be very quick here, gentlemen, because I see all of y'all keep going back to the same recycled people. if Liberia is still facing a drug problem and security problem, and all these agencies are being headed by the same group of security people, why are we even recommending them? So let me make my recommendation, okay? I think Alice Cummings, the president, should appoint Alice Cummings to be the head of the DEA. This will be an opportunity for Alice Cummings to come and show that he's a good manager and administrator. He's retired. He's not doing nothing right now. Go and help your country. If you can go to DEA and fix the drug problem, trust me, I will be the #1 person. I'll drop my political ambition and support him. So, Mr. President, please appoint Alice Cummings.
Why you can't go there, Alex? Alex, why you can't go there?
You do not need security.
Alex, why you can't go there?
Hold on, yeah, you can
Why you can't go there, Alex?
Let me finish. Let me just finish.
Alex, why you can't go there?
The United States DEA is not being headed by any security person. The United States DEA are always be. Let me finish, gentlemen and lady. The United States DEA, we should model our listening. Listen, let me finish because let me educate you on some of these things here. DEA is an administrative job, okay? DEA is an administrative job. In the United States, the people who head the DEA are not police officers and CIA detectives. They are either attorneys, politicians, or people with legal background. So you're copying the people and you don't copy the people correctly. Alice Cummings will be the right man to head the DEA and show Liberian people.
Robert,
security position.
Come on, 1 minute. That's 1 minute. We'll hurry up. Move.
Yeah,
1
Alex,
minute.
you're very controversial. You talk about respect, and then you call Alice Cummings. You say Alice Cummings. Why you say that the Monaba should go there?
But why is it a disrespectful thing?
I think Alice Cummings will do a good job.
He can do it.
Let's clear. No.
Dr. Monaba served his country already in the second.
Already, sir. Alice Cummings can prove now that he's a better administrator.
Robert, get the flow. Let me get seconds.
With the work that he wants to do, he needs to go there.
Why are you going to show my people? Why Grace and Alice always zoom in?
I think those are girls insubordination to Mr. Cummings.
Why is he running away from public position? If you want to run the country, this is a chance.
Okay, Robert, 30 seconds. Let's go. So.
Oh, but that's fair.
You don't want to get my 30 seconds to be
But listen. I think that.
Hey, you second not listen to that thing?
Oh, me?
I didn't know I'm right on this one.
I'm listening to you. Now you tied up to your opinions.
My baby gonna bend the second not listening to that thing, and he accepting
You know
it.
what Grace doing, right? You know what Grace doing, right?
Yeah. You see, you got to get it behind by time. Yeah, 10 seconds.
So let me say this. I think both of them should be fired. That's it. Plain blank period. I think both of them should be fired. But I also think that when you hear Fatima sit on Spoon and talk about, I was very influential in appointing Fatiga as deputy. That's seriously troubling. That is serious.
Man, those are flaw, man. Don't even mind those things. Those are flaw talk.
This is the reason why he came on Spoon yesterday. But again, I think AB is not. Look, from my perspective, I think AB is a thug. He's not a seriously security-minded guy. I don't think he's a leader, because if he was a leader, this thing would have been under control by now. He's shown lack of leadership, and this is what you get. So if anyone must take responsibility, this president must be wise and nip this thing in the bud. Dismiss AB and the deputy. Don't send him somewhere else. Dismiss both of them.
Fair enough. And then maybe you can recommend Dr. Moneyba there. He walking government before he tried.
We will not recommend Dr. Moneyba there, because the person in the candidates, the person who wants to run for president, don't have public service.
I think Alex brought up something here.
Managerial skills to that position. And
No, you know what? Guys, let me make a quick comment here. Alex brought a very good point here. You know, we have talked about age on this platform many times. In fact, age seems to be the main argument of Alice Jones. The drug user and those who are most affected by drugs in Liberia and in many parts of the world for that matter are young people. And I think Dr. Moneyba, I mean, with all due respect,
because the old people brought it in.
You're not a mentor. You sat down, you agree with Alex that nominated him as a comic. They make him nominate a political leader.
Yeah, he's a young person.
No, Ben.
I think that
Moniba already served. Alex
No,
Cummings
no,
has
no.
not
Let a
served.
mentor.
Okay, let me
Whenever
Alex.
the time for Alex coming,
Get your
we're
dog.
not going to get to our country and give to
Y'all
somebody.
let Kelabu
Alex
make
Y'all
Cummings
get
need to
y'all get
serve
Kellabu
people
chance to
this
talk.
place.
He's saying a third
Thank you.
strong point. Yeah, he's making a strong
No,
point.
no, actually, because we Dr. Moniba has a specialty in rhetorics and communication, and part of the things is changing mind. If you study public health, behavior change communication is about the choice of words that will make people to change from an old habit to go back. I mean, from new habit to go back to old habit. You know what it used to be. So I think Moniba, even void of even presidential appointment, I think he can even appoint himself as ambassador to fight against drugs, to go around the country talking to young people in the trenches to change. I think he should go and work with the DA. That void of politics. I think you'll do a great job. Because the whole thing about making the young people believe in themselves that there is the next future for them. I think you should.
So you know, I
want
know
to
you, Kellabu.
I
totally agree with you.
Alex agree with me now. You see?
Yeah, they can make it an ambassador. Hold on. They can make it an ambassador
you want
for
to take over
youth
after
and drugs.
2029?
Alex
No,
agree
listen,
with me.
that's a good no,
Chris,
Chris.
so
Chris,
Alex
I
agree
agree
with me.
that
What you want?
Moniba is already doing such a thing and
Thank you.
influencing young people. They can make it the
But
youth
will you be
ambassador
high- better in
or
the 20th
spokesperson
you
on
need the
drugs.
18th century
But
because
Alex
if you-
Cummings,
Go ahead.
him, and Moniba. So I totally agree with your recommendation. The president can make it ambassador to fight against drug use and stuff. I'm sure you'll be happy to take that role. But here's a case where we have one of the best executive administrator in the world, right? Our country is suffering for lack of administration in the drug agency. We try several security people, they fail. Yes, the opportunity, but he should relish and come over, transform that agency, all right? Stop the drug problem, and then prove himself to Liberian people that indeed you can transfer from corporate to government. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't think there's any other better choice.
And I agree. And the thing is that why I think Kellabu live in the 18th century, that the reason why we say we need innovative minds right now.
Agree with my suggestion. I'm living the
innovative mind. And that young people that got innovative mind, that's what Mr. Moniba there.
In Liberia, if you know that you're not even doing your research.
Henry, that takes a course. Henry, please can I take some course, yeah?
Young children.
Henry, can I take some course, please?
Remove yourself from
I'm still taking all my recommendation. You know you
remove
like
yourself from the drug war and
Henry, please can I take some course, guys. On studio, that takes some course.
you know you like it, man.
We want for communists to serve now. You need to serve.
You can't disagree with that, man. You cannot.
You're trying to pull me in.
Are you suggesting that Cummings and Moniba will take over as head?
No, Moniba will be the youth person on drug. He will be the spokesperson of the government youth ambassador.
We got the first call on the line.
Will be the head of DA.
First caller.
We'll stop
Is that
our
why you're
drug
going to
problem.
write a neutral about Alex?
Got the first call on the line.
I can put on editorial tomorrow morning.
Is that why you're going to write? Is that how you're going to start a newspaper or go after somebody?
The press is supposed to influence policy.
We got
That's
the
what
first
we're
call on
doing.
the line. Somebody, the first call on the line. Go ahead, caller. Call your name, please.
Hello, this is Theola.
Oh, God.
Don't overlook me, Ben.
Oh,
Don't
please.
overlook me.
Tiola.
Something for Alex Jones. Your obsession with Mr. Cummings, you need to slow it down a little bit. I never see a man obsessed with a friend man the way you obsessed with Alex Cummings. Leave him alone. He's not in this DEA drug business. Every time you come on the show, your obsession with Cummings just drives you crazy. I bet you go to bed dreaming about Cummings. You wake up thinking about Cummings. Leave him alone. He's letting him enjoy his retirement. You fighting to run for 2029. Sell yourself on Facebook. You are running for president in 2023, but you stayed on Facebook to run your campaign for presidency and refuse to go to Liberia. Then you won't be faced for president. Leave Cummings alone, please. He got you to study. Stop being obsessed with your friend, man.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
I got another caller.
And I think she read one with the other.
I think I have it.
I got a caller. On the phone.
Let me call us in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, everybody.
So you stop discussing on Facebook
Yes,
and go to
go ahead.
politics, please. Stop it.
Good evening, wherever you are. This is Tomina from Texas. And
And I wanted to add my 2 cents.
Can I respond now?
No, you can go now.
I can't hear the caller.
It's been long boiling. So
We'll
I
do it
agree with most people that both should be fired, and the reason why. First of all, Fadila, number one, doesn't understand leadership. He doesn't understand submission, and he doesn't understand authority. And I understand why, because he's Liberia, because he would never do that in America. Not with the federal government. We all worked with government before. He would never do that. Not even in the private sector, he would never do that. But I know when we go to Liberia, it's totally, all culture are thrown on the windows. So we all listen to the recording and heard different stories. What's his name on the other side? AB Kuruma on the other side, as a leader, you have to take some punches. You have to exercise leadership at all times, even if you're tempted. And he didn't exercise leadership. So that's my problem. Because you are so wrong. But he didn't exercise leadership. All these four guys that are so educated, but what they lack is that emotional intelligence or intelligence IQ. The IQ, they lack that. Intelligent quotient, I'm sorry. Intelligent quotient. And they both like that. And because of that, they both need to grow and bring in new people, fresh mindsets, and let them lead people with vast experience. Not recognition from Fatima or from Jorismo or from whoever. No. Based on your experience, your knowledge, and, besides education, just how you relate to people. We overlook those things, but it's very important. And as far as money, I know people making a recognition for money, but he's a fine gentleman. But having that kind of position is a unique position. It comes from people who have experience in that area. Family education, but working knowledge in that area. And that's not his area, so he needs to go and serve somewhere else. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take your calls. Bring your calls. Keep your calls coming in.
Keep calling.
Henry, okay, I got another caller here.
I got it.
Oh. Okay. Caller, go ahead. Huh?
Well, Taylor, I'm calling from Maryland, USA. I think what happened I appreciate the president for handling it in a mature way. First of all, that's the first thing I saw that happened. Suspending 2 guys, then you investigate. First of all, my opinion on people putting everything on Fatiga is wrong. I'm in leadership. If I don't want for my subordinate not to do something, there is phone. Why can you not text the man? I don't want going in my office today. Hiko, I don't know to mama. I don't want going in my office today. But saying it in front of your employees is wrong. And as Australia man, you will feel offended and defensive. I think that where I see the perspective of Fatiga coming from very angry, you can't do that in front of an employee. My man, I don't want any gun in my office. Text the man, call him before the meeting. So I think the president, and AB2, he did not handle the media professionally. Both all the men should file it, should bring new image to the organization. I think that's what should happen.
Thank you. Take your calls. Calls keep coming.
Calls keep coming. I mean, that's everybody's saying. Hold on, I think I got a call.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I got the person I got called.
Hold on, 2 minutes. Hello. Yeah, you on. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this is Ben calling from Minnesota. I think while it's true that I want over them to actually be dismissed, I think we are missing the bigger picture. The bigger picture here having to be Liberia, and that is to say the allegation that Fadigan kind of a display in his letter are so egregious. And there are 2 things that can happen here. Either Fadiga is lying, which of course then he must be fired, or those allegations are true. That means AB should be arrested. And that is the reason why the government should not take this thing lightly. This is very serious. This could be something that might cause them to lose a lot of funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. The caller, keep coming. Okay, caller, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You live. You live.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, apparently, anyway, I'm no too bored with the fun butter. I've been listening to the show, and I just want to speak on the issue about Fadika and the bus. I listened to the sister in studio that she is doing. They are 100% right. What Fadika did over there, you were 100% wrong. In fact, I spent the outputting of Liberia for 17 years before coming to the U.S. You cannot disrespect your superior officer, no day, no matter what. And in a security setup, order can change at any time. So, every command does not need to put up a memo before you go in the office. You can enter in the office and say, I don't leave weapon in my office. That's your superior officer. If you have issue with that, take your weapon back in your office, put it in your drawer, and come back. After the meeting, you guys can meet later and handle that issue. But Fadika and the other guy, it was wrong in the command, and I think if any dismissal will go on over there, they have to dismiss Fadika and the other guy. Because you cannot disrespect your superior officer. In the military, the rank always prevail, and they are all skilled personnel. I don't think what Fadika did in Liberia, you can do it here. It's a federal agent. You can never do it here. You can never disrespect any superior officer in the United States of America. Why would you do that in Liberia? I think action should be taken against Fadika and the other guy. Thank you, guys. Just my take.
Keep the calls coming. Anybody get make calls? Aaron, the movement Liberian calling. Okay, go ahead, caller.
When I'm from Detroit, just wanted to say personally, right? I'm not a fan of the Fadika, but I just want to throw light on Liberians leaving the diaspora to go to Liberia to work. It's always a pushback if you cannot conform to the norms over there. And I say this because many people that went to effectuate change, there are lots of pushback. Example was Mrs. Thomas Kumba's wife, when she went to Liberia to work within the healthcare to make change, set up a commission that would, audit the hospitals, like how we have the joint commission here, working with a lot of policies. She got a pushback, and she came on the radio and she said that the health minister at that time was telling people, her assistants, to actually fight the lady in her office. The lady came on the radio, multiple radio stations, and accused the health minister of fighting her. So my thing is, when people leave from here to go, if you're not conforming to what the norms are over there, I don't care how much experience you carry, people will start to fight you and push back and say, this is not America, you're keeping on the side. Even there's a mirror bro. They have to stand up for mirror bro, else mirror bro will not have life in that position. Now, second thing is, so Alex Jones, this boy spends his time, or this man spends his time. Every time he comes in the closing argument actually using a platform to campaign, not even campaign time, and he's using this platform. And as member of the board of closing argument, I would say we need to start charging him so he can start paying. He shouldn't sit on that platform and all day castigate another person. That's being very disrespectful, the way he talked to Mr. Cummings. And when you talk about it, they say, oh, you see, the other day Grace got up and she got on Yomocho pregnant because Yomocho was talking against money back. She said, oh, that's why you ANC people, Mr. Cummings never won the elections. You are sick of it. That's why Grace used this platform to attack another female. But if somebody had done it to Grace would have jumped on and said, you're 20%, man. My people.
Let's go back to the comments.
Support your candidate, we will support ours. And if we don't support your candidate, does that make us a sycophant? Because if you calling us a sycophant for supporting...
I'm talking too long. because
You
she
are
is a
also
super fan.
supporting yours. I'm just saying, you know, you cannot use this platform, anything, to attack Mr. Cummings and say that Alex Jones' purpose on this platform to attack Mr. Cummings, and that's not what this platform was built for. Alex Cummings got nothing to do with what happened in Liberia. The Liberian people chose what they wanted. Alex Jones came to sell himself. Let him pay money to start selling himself and stuff because he's the jack of all trades, master or none. He said, "I'm here, America."
Tomalin is funny, right? You're laughing.
Call me sycophants. We
were not, because we 1 minute come to
I
have a caller. I'll have a caller. But we were not because we are on a platform.
Let the caller finish.
People when insult us in the comments and then we will not talk. I'm not here for comments and he caught people. I'm not here for that. I will speak the truth.
Let the caller
SB, I have a caller. SB, go ahead.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada.
But SB, that thing is now, Chris.
Coming and money by recommendation. I just want to say a couple of things with what we've seen at the LDEA. You know, it's an embarrassment for all of us, of course. The lack of professionalism that we've seen from, A.G. Kumar and Fadiga is something that should not be tolerated in our country. You know, the LDEA is one of those government entities that is very sensitive. You know, the nature of cases that they deal with, you need people with, emotional intelligence, people with patience, people with understanding, people that can tolerate different types of provocation in very high emotional scenarios. And it begs me to ask you guys this, because you guys will probably know more of the things than I will do. What are the criteria in place that if an SB or a Ben Sanvee or Grace or anybody on this platform or in the comment section wanted to apply for a government position in that country? What are the criteria? The process that we must go through to ensure, not for us to be perfect, because no one is, but when we are working for the Liberian people, what are the criteria in place to ensure that when we are faced with difficulties and we have a hurdle to jump, that we're going to do our best so that we maintain the dignity for which we serve? And the reason why I ask this question, it brings me back to how people are giving jobs in our country. When we sit on a platform for 6 hours a day or 8 hours a day, or if I have a friend who's a friend of a friend or my uncle and someone you can work together, that qualifies me to get a job. This is why Liberia is where we are today, and we see other African countries are where they are today. Because we hand people things. We don't go on the appropriate channels and the processes that should be in place. So that when we are in a set of positions, we do the best job we can do. How do we know that if I didn't get a position in a case like this, the common sense to say,
Harry, I got to mute until you get it settled.
Everybody's upset. Emotions are high. I'm going to be able to walk away. We will reconvene. Everybody will get calm. We'll come back and sit on the table and talk. Because we're working for the Liberian people. How do I know that an AD everyone take a walk, come back, we'll talk later. Instead, everyone wanted to show their sense of entitlement.
I got to mute.
That's what our country is about. Entitlement.
The brother too got low.
For 65 days, I'm entitled to be your right hand man. If I carry a suitcase for
But SB, the panelist now.
I deserve to have a position. My qualification, my level of expertise, my experience, my ability.
Different person Grace will be talking.
Okay.
I'm happy with Grace.
And determine.
The line stop. We're getting 4 or 5 calls coming.
But we should set the time now. There should be a time like this.
Yeah.
You just know how to use the fact that she's the only woman on the platform. Now, how you see her doing? She just know how to use it.
Of leadership ability. This is the precedent that we set as to how we.
But the men I guess speaker now
in that country, and this is a lesson that should be learned.
Okay.
Individual.
Thank you.
Has SB endorsed money back?
Can I please respond?
Maybe there's discussion in the back.
First of all,
Maybe there is
I know
some
SB. You got no SB to be. I know SB to be.
He said 30 seconds. He said 30 seconds.
okay. First of all,
No. And it's
first of all, let me just say. Okay, first of all, let me just say Tomalin and Peabody.
Not time yet.
No, Alex, you got wait.
Let me call us. We got time to talk.
Yeah, wait.
This guy, that Isako, just say one to one again.
Yeah.
Oh, so SB.
SB, we gotta go though. SB, we gotta go. We gotta go.
So
SB said he will support money back. Nah, I see. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay, next caller. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm surprised about SB that is, man.
Caller, you lie.
Yeah, we're making waves.
Okay, you know what? When money back here, he made a lot of endorsement. Go ahead.
Wait, you took SB from coming?
Yeah, so I heard Alex recommended Alexander Cummings. I think Wallenthal would be better.
Somebody got a mute, man.
Alex Johnson Sirleaf, one of the most roguish, corrupt government ever, and apparently he came out very clean. So let him go back to another dysfunctional and work again. Maybe he can make a difference. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, y'all continue to let it be.
You gotta respond to everybody.
It just started. You even get it higher. You even get it higher, Grace.
But the guy that dropped that was a wild and reckless allegation there against the Eddie government in terms of corruption and resident. That's a very reckless.
Are you saying that Eddie government not corrupt?
They roll people that want about playing any administration. I will support Monba. Listen. I will heavily support Monba role. He played a strategic role in the president's delivered office.
It doesn't
the president delivered unit. That was one of the architects behind the unit there. I think
I call her woke you up, Sylvester. I call her woke you up.
No,
Go ahead, caller.
Bear me witness here.
Is the neo-progressive on his way to
line? Guys, we have one caller. Go ahead, caller. Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was calling to give Alex Jones a piece of advice.
Well, I will leave that platform when y'all come people finish.
No, the people calling. You can't do
that. You can't listen to the people.
You want to be a talk show host, you can't do that.
People will not get to be talking about coming.
Yeah, but Chris, you can't do that. People coming.
Chris, you can't do that. Chris, go ahead.
Position. Mr. Cummings is bigger than that. You humor Mr. Cummings got somebody bigger than him that will humor you, and that's God.
Ben, relax.
Thank you.
Keep your cost coming.
Come in as potential president.
It's too early, sir. You even read
nothing, yo. You stay talking to the
Great.
It's very important.
They won't not go through. If too bad, no cost coming. Keep on cost coming.
Ale, Robert says preparing to do for the president on the 7th.
Okay, go ahead, caller. You live.
You and Alex Jones came in and I want to put on your.
You live, caller. You live. Caller, you live. Oh,
the camera phone go off.
Y'all keep on calling.
I would say, you know what, Mr. Cummings are fine.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Respect him. We have nothing against this man. His people are just derogatory.
Yeah, go ahead, you live.
There is a caller on.
Leadership and tolerance and all that. Panelists on your show, your panelists need to be tolerant to opposing views and to tolerate.
even if they ask them, even if they paying them, you know, always fighting for, you know, panelists or,
Don't put that kind of comment on, man.
you know, want to fight them, want to, you know, fight back. This is not the place for you if you don't tolerate or opposing you, because we're not always going here and say kumbaya. Another thing I meant to mention about this particular issue, you know, somebody who's still on the community, obviously, you look at performance. When you look at the particular brother, the history, almost every organization a group has been part of. There's always been chaos about that. There's been chaos that come with that.
But who the phone breaking up? We can't hear the person.
You can hear me?
No,
Yeah,
I tell you.
I tell you.
Oh. You know what? Let me repeat. Y'all know how to repeat. Okay.
SB don't have become the
Tell me, kind of show back. Kind of show. Tell me, kind of show. Okay. Okay. Keep the cost coming. ANC for that is the money by ANC.
No, it's not. No, don't do that. Tomalin, don't do
Why
are you making? Why you making? You don't want making that?
The way we
if you get married tonight, you just have yourself for nothing because they want small.
We are just seeing what we see is that.
Yeah, go ahead.
They want a small one here. You get a real one.
We don't want to have any animosity between any of us concerning this whole like when people have become enemies because of political leaders. We're not going to stoop to that level. We're not going to do that.
Grace, there is a caller on.
I do not care.
Yeah, but Craig, why you keep talking? The caller's on. You can't interrupt the caller, Craig. We got to put our watch on every day. They're giving their opinion.
The caller talking.
That's what it's unacceptable. I was confused as to why you were disarming me. Plus, if you work in security institution, but you guys said from the gate, from the outside of the gate, you started to notice people that was there that they never recognized. So in like we got a history of those things that's happening where people can just grab people and do something to them. So
hold on a second.
It kind of raised the tension as to why all of a sudden you don't want us coming in with our weapons if we have done this before, right? This not something where you can just work on a period of you can just bring a weapon in my office. No, that's not how it works. So people I know he talks a lot, but he needs to stop this, right? I saw it in It's like a standard operating procedures. Before it could be like, okay, then why you want to know? You want to violate the the rule on the ground, basically, right? So you can't just get up. Nobody can just get up and make up whatever rules or whatever it is and stuff like that. This time of
why everybody vest today?
So people need to.
Ellis Jones, you go put the fire there today.
Ellis Jones guy, man, that guy is a mess.
Okay, thank you. Next caller. Caller, go ahead.
No, but we supposed to take off from like Europe.
Yeah, but
they're having issues.
Yeah, go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Your own people here, you want to call.
Wait, somebody live. Somebody in the call live. Live caller. Go ahead, caller.
Thank you for taking my call, Tomalin. This is Rosalind Cooper from Dallas, Texas. Another coming nights, but not to.
Rosalind, you say you what? You coming nights?
Of course.
Coming. Hey, not easy to that.
They get me attention like bro. Spend home money that we're coming. Yeah,
she should have put her in charity work.
LTA. I personally feel that the buck stopped with AB. AB should take responsibility for what happened. And I feel like in any serious society by now, he will have turned his resignation because he's still. As a leader, you should be able to have control of your agency, of your ministry, of your employees, whatever. You have to build that relationship with your employees. I don't think we did that. And what happened should never have happened, and it happened on his watch. I think he should be fired. And I don't think he even should wait for the president to make a decision. He should go ahead and turn in his resignation. And just to say to Grace and Alex Jones, the same issue we face in this election that caused us to have what we have right now with Waka. I see you guys are doing that same thing. You come on this show every day, you try to bring down Alex Cummings. That is not what we should be doing now. We should allow every person, every candidate the opportunity, whether young or old, to make the case to the Liberian people and let the people make the decision. But if you guys feel that starting this early, your job is to come and be read and be little or bring down Alex Cummings, it's not going to help us get anywhere, and we will end up in the same boat as what we are now with Black. So I just want to, ask you guys to please, let's stick to the topic. Let's talk about the way forward. And as we're talking about these candidates, let's talk about the strength. Even if we're talking about the weaknesses, let's talk in a way that we'll be able to make it fair for the Liberian people to understand and be able to make the judgment call come 2029. Thank you all for the show.
Thank you. They also recommending recommending for the DA. They're recommending Madison Togba, who are also saying their needs are coming out already. Somebody also said Councilor Gonglo. Somebody he should sweep the drugs with his broom. Okay, yeah, they're coming up. So look, this thing's getting interesting.
You know, let me say something quickly. You know, I think I want
to
say something quickly. You know, I think from the latter part of towards when the CPP was getting ready to crumble, I told my friends in the ANC, that was before we delivered the party and then we did the thing. And I think that's what Lionel is trying to do here. I told them to see what she face. No, but I said the greatest competitor to Mr. Cummings was Mr. Buckeye at that time. That I think there was too much fixation on President Weah because he was the incumbent. But I see that my folks from Lionel now, with Alex, Alex, it clearly shows that Alex is now entered the strategy room of Lionel. It clearly shows. I can clearly see that he has entered the strategy room, and they have made a determination that for Moneybar to rise up, he has to bring Cummings down. And that's what I'm sensing here. I'm just saying. That's my opinion.
No.
That's my opinion. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. Yeah, I may be wrong, but that's my opinion.
Ben, you are totally wrong. Tomalin, can I just have 2 seconds? Look, let me tell you, Dr. Moneybar is a very humble man. If you don't follow Dr. Moneybar, you will not know, and that's the reason why you need to do your due diligence and follow all these political leaders. Dr. Moneybar will be even humble. We who support Dr. Moneybar could come here and say, "Oh no, and Dr. Moneybar, he's not going to be." I would say, even if they get Dr. Moneybar that DEA position, because of the children and the youth of Liberia that he loves so dearly, he could even take that position and help Liberia and build the youth and that the generation of the youth up for that whole drug pandemic to leave Liberia. So I will not take away from that. If President Barker see him to appoint Dr. Moneybar to that administrative position for him to help, Barker knows Moneybar's strength. He worked with a young man. So that is, I will not take it away from him. I will not come and tell you here that Dr. Moneybar is too big and pompous that he will not be able to do that. No, I'm not that kind of person. I don't think
you said that first. You rejected when I made that
talk.
You rejected. The farmers here established. She rejected.
I don't know why when I'm talking a trigger, you can stop. I told you. We had a meeting in the back. You need to cut it off. Yeah, so I will not take that away from Dr. Moneybar. Dr. Moneybar is already doing such a thing in Liberia. He has the new Liberia movement where he has a bunch of youth. We almost 500 to 600 on different platforms. In fact, 1,000. You got to have that 7 platform on Messenger, and we have our WhatsApp platform with all the young children that
will Moneybar be open to run as Cummings running?
Why? You need to ask Moneybar that question. You can't ask me.
No, I'm asking you. Will you support?
I don't know.
Okay, let me ask you, Grace. Will you support a Cummings Moneybar ticket? Will you support a Cummings?
I will never support a Cummings Moneybar ticket except Moneybar.
You gotta call on the line, yeah. Let's get a caller check.
Let a caller spread the view. We don't want to make this. It's about the DA. We don't make that about Cummings, Mr. Cummings.
Caller.
Good afternoon. Closing argument. How is everybody tonight? Thank you for the discussion. This is Mr. Phillips calling from Houston, Texas. Good evening to the panel, and thanks to all of the callers that are coming in. I just had to call in to kind of voice my concern about this whole issue. I won't go into the names and who did what. But I think we as Liberians need to understand something, that there's a bigger picture here. Going into this new leadership or new administration, we need to be all of the appointees into different government ministries who represent this government need to understand that the entire world is watching Liberia very, very closely. Every action that is being carried out by any individual who's part of this administration will be weighed, will be graded, and it will affect direct foreign investment. That's just a reality. I'm not going to go into who did what and what not, but the reality here is people who take on the responsibility for serving in a specific capacity, I think the president needs to make it very, very clear to everyone that maturity and following the rule of law, just how you do it outside of Liberia, it should be no exception that when you come back and take a position, that same level of professionalism has to be carried out. Because these actions directly affect Liberia's short, medium, and long-term growth and prosperity. Our foreign relationships will be affected by this. How our policing, justice system, national security apparatus will be defined and judged will be judged by this. How foreign investors will feel when they come home to be protected by such a system with unprofessional individuals, that's how they will judge it. The diaspora looking to invest their money in Liberia, bring their family members home, will judge that system by these actions. And as I said, and I don't want to highlight that this is the number one challenge for us as Liberians. We are very professional when we are over in the US or in Europe. We stand online, we wait our turn, we submit a resume, we go for an interview, we explain, we talk, we do everything right until that plane lands at Roberts International Airport and we get into that building, and the next thing is it's chaos.
Okay.
Nobody wants to stand on the line. So I urge everyone who's been appointed by the president, be responsible, be matured, be professional. It affects Liberia everywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chila, go ahead.
Go ahead, caller. Oh, I got a lady on the call. Body, that lady talk yet?
Chila,
go ahead,
hold on, Chila. Hold on.
Yes, hello. I'm Martina Monte, calling from.
Oh, Costa Princess, go ahead.
I want to make my input on the LTE. I want to agree with the caller that said that AB show of leadership. To first just in this country, thousands of Liberians is dying on a daily basis because of the trust issues. Some say it when we come to the media. Some will come to the media. You cannot say you're fighting drugs, that you're fighting drugs with a divided organization. The LDA is divided. The AP is comfortably working with a divided organization, and he's not complaining. According to him in a press conference, he said that Fatiga, he didn't want to choose Fatiga to be a deputy. Yes, you choose Fatiga, and Fatiga is not willing to understand you people can work together. You read the precedent because why you people fighting Liberia's life? You read the precedent that you cannot work with this guy. Let us say he different than somebody that you feel comfortable to work with. That you will join hands and work together to fight this just issue. So Abraham Command did not show leadership. I agree with that call 100%. Because I cannot be fighting then you sit there, you allow the people have their will. You people are not united. All day you're fighting among yourself. But when you're going camera, you're out there, you're fighting drugs. Now you're fighting among yourself. I don't think it was going to help the Liberians in any way. And people who say Fatiga was right, Fatiga coming from in a country that is well structured and organized. When Fatiga did here in Liberia, you pay Fatiga thousands of billions. He will never try to hit bosses in America. We need to be real. Sometimes sit and say, I wonder what problem is the Liberian or the Liberian in the diaspora. You coming from a sophisticated country like America, you live there. You know how people treat their bosses. You come down here, even Abraham Command made you angry. Look at that video and see the way Fatiga and dress his boss. I will walk out and follow my complaint to whosoever I know that will interview. But I will not stand there. Then he telling us that I'm a federal agent. Which one a federal agent will behave that with all the training you go through? Then you come back home, even the Nigerians, they are better more than you. We need to be real to ourselves. That's the show.
Thank you. You know, you said that may look interesting. Somebody recommending even somebody else a recommendation for Coastal to head LDM.
First caller.
Okay, go ahead, first caller.
So this caller, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I need from where you join us.
My name is Belinda and I'm joining you from Maryland.
Go ahead.
I want to say that, hello?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I would say example should be set on both Fatiga and Command. So maybe others will see and they will not repeat the action. So they can bring some sort of respect and, order to that entity. For Alex and Grace, the level Mr. Alexander Thomas has reached, you are trapped. Your member probably won't even get there. A member would love to get there, but because of your behavior, he might not even reach there. This company has done so well. Member has not even, oversee organization. Member has run offices. The project that Mr. Cummings has given and run with dignity, respect, and, honor, nothing there. Member's trust is the wish for Cummings there. Disrespect. We should look up to the only person that we will try to get to where they are. Try to be little Mr. Cummings, and that is not right. Every time you're talking to Mr. Cummings, you make Monica looks bad. So if you ever bring Cummings down, like you tried to bring Cummings' character down, and he stood the test of that. So when you get on the show, you're making yourself look bad, and you're making Monica look bad. So your leave Mr. Cummings alone because the dignity that we have shown, I like to go for you.
Thank you so kindly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look, it's not easy though. Already getting started.
Hello.
Anybody long and be clear. I don't know why.
When I keep you on the line, you got to make a point very quickly because the other calls come in.
The same thing they did, they say we are
01765.
the president said because he plays
Hello.
So Cummings is too high, almighty that he can't.
Oh, yeah, you're from where you join us.
He will never become president of Liberia. Yes, sir.
You're alive, go ahead.
This is Sheriff. I'm calling from Pennsylvania. So I already talked to Grace and Alex Shaw. The other time I understand that Grace was complaining when it comes to the Queen's fans or supporters. It's like someone's coming up on the show and denigrating Mr. Monoba. I don't know how she will feel. I'm from Lofa County. I grew up in Lofa, and I admire Dr. Monoba. The other day, when he came to the show, I called and I appreciate him. And I even said that when he continues some of us we not
Tomalin, is this a bashing season for your people or what? I just really don't like my knee just be called like that. Yeah, I don't like my knee be called by these people in the court. I don't want
We on national platform. We don't.
But yeah, these people are not gonna go sit down in the court and continue calling my knee because they have.
What are you do the Peabody man and myself so now?
That I'm supposed to worship you with them. No, they can't.
Let the people speak, please.
I only worship God. I don't worship man. I'm sorry.
Okay, Henry, let's do our closing because we got our time. Okay, let's do our closing out of time. Guys, look, the issue about the DAs is interesting. I mean, a lot of people following the show tonight. People are following. Imagine 1,000 people are watching, are listening in Radio Land, on YouTube, watching YouTube, listening on True FM and Hot FM all over the country. So you know that thousands of people are watching the show, and it's interesting. The message we're getting here, we're getting thoughts on the message we're getting here in our box here. But I'm happy that the show is gaining momentum. People are watching over. It's interesting. That's why when we come here. Look, I would say this. We've been in the business for some time. They will insult you, they will go after everything, but you gotta be thin skin, thick skin, because we put ourselves in the space. You know, all we do just when people try to disrespect us, but people will criticize you, accept it. Once you're on the national platform, they will criticize you. Look up. So now for Ben Pound and get ready for us that so now they can do a whole post and do post on him. They can joke. Peabody, they get ready, they get attacked. But look, we gotta be thick skin. Let us that once we put ourselves in the firing line, it will happen. And we are doing a good job. People, the reason why the show is getting momentum is gaining momentum because people believe we are doing a good job. Let's keep it up. Right now, the issue about the DA, you guys are causing names that people are saying there are possible people candidates that person will appoint. Honestly, you won't believe it. Some of the names that you guys called tonight, don't be surprised if President Baka gave these guys the job. Okay.
What about Marybro? What about Marybro?
You see, Ben, what's up with you guys with the research?
I just asked a question.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so guys, let us give ourselves
my recommendation is that it should come from internal. I think somebody
new, somebody give somebody else a chance.
A message from Madam Duara. I listened to her voice. Her voice gone. She says she wanted to be on the show, but she begged us. Her voice is gone.
Who's that?
The youth and sport ambassador who was unspooning his ex-wife, his wife. I don't know how it is. But she texted me and said that. She said I begged my voice. She called me. I listened to her voice. Her voice is gone, right? And even the Iman Jai.
So Iman won't come on the show too?
Look, let me progress. I come in. Let me progress, but
Iman said he coming on the show because they lie on his knee. He never.
No, well, let me progress. That whole thing that people are saying that thing.
You have to talk about the Iman. The Iman. You can't talk it halfway. Why are you talking about the lady and you're not talking about?
I didn't she just gave me a message. She texted me. She said she can't make the show because her voice gone. You won't have a voice again. Her voice gone. Okay, and even maybe the political ambassador, Madala or Ambassador Fion, they are all welcome to give them. But again, we make progress. That's our closing. Who wants to start first to get a closing?
Let me start. Oh no, let Robert start. I think he's right.
Yeah, closing. Raul driving. Raul, 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes. Watching the time. 2 minutes.
Yeah, Raul.
Yeah, right. Raul, go 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Watching the time. Lofa got the time set.
What Lofa?
Lofa monitoring the time right now.
So my time is going. You're interrupting me. So please reply on my time. So 2 things I want to close with. Number 1, though, if what Ben said earlier is right about the strategy to bring Cummings down so that Dr. Moneyback can rise, if that's seriously the strategy, then I think that's a failed strategy. I think that this is an opportunity.
That strategy in your head.
I think this is an opportunity for both Cummings and the rest of the guys to really come together, share ideas, and form a serious alliance that will work in 2029. I don't think that either of them survive the CDC or the incumbent by tearing each other down. We can have a healthy policy-related debate, about who has the right policy when it comes to corruption, when it comes to job creation, when it comes to all of the issues that we're crying about right now. I think that's a healthy discussion. But when it comes to tearing the candidates down, I think that it won't help either candidate. Number two, I think with this whole DEA situation, I think the best thing that Joseph Boakai can do right now is to fire both the director and the deputy director. That's the best thing that can be done right now, because I think all of us have said it. The buck stops with the leader, and all of us would agree, irrespective of what we heard on the tape or what Fadiga said, whether he was disrespectful in his words, unprofessional. At the end of the day, A.B. Kumar have not shown leadership when it comes to the dysfunctionality at the DEA and the public disrespect that they have brought not just on this government, but the people of Liberia. So they should dismiss the both of them. Lastly, y'all need to stop this thing when they talk about the diaspora Liberians returning home and the system that they must conform to. We cannot change an ugly system if you are telling us when we go back home, we must be humble and we must accept anything that comes with the system. Then we can't say we want change. If that's the case, then there's no need to go back. There's no need to go back to attempt to change anything. Just let the same people who's been there forever, let them continue to work, and let's continue to get the same result. But you can't demand that I must go back because I have a boss who's been in government for 30 years. Anything he tells me to do, even if it doesn't make sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, I must conform to it. I don't think that will work. So thank you. It was a great show. But I love the show, man. I love Alex and Grace teamwork. I love it. It's really good. Thank you.
Well, Grace,
we have our own individual minds. This is not a team where smart people think like we like-minded. Thank you.
Oh, y'all wasn't like-minded before they don't.
Let me do my closing. Tell me, Judge Jones. So let me do my closing prayer. I'm not going to stay long. You know what I like about Alex Jones? Alex know how to support you and unsupport you. So, we on that thing. There's a long journey we on. Long journey. Very long journey. Then very Alex Jones want to support that Joseph Boakai. It took it 2 weeks.
I don't want to support that Joseph Boakai.
Alex, I will find that clip from Focus on Liberia. I will find that clip from Focus on Liberia where you were in.
I can tell you the interview that you're talking about.
Alex is the most vacillating person in Liberia.
You are in the debate and you are pro Boakai, you are supporting Boakai.
No, that's not true. If you find out,
but
let me say this.
Hey, don't worry, I'm a panelist on FOL.
Thank you very much, Galabu. Please find that video. We will get Dennis Jar to find that video. Alex Jones.
I know what you're talking about. You're taking clips and you're going to add it up to make your own opinion, but that's not what I said.
But let me say this. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing Alex and the Moniba collabo. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm seeing that Alex is in the chat. He's in the strategy room. He's in the chat room. This is an attempt. I'm telling you, there's the strategy. The strategy is to bring Cummings down, and they have started. So, but let me say this. My recommendation for DEA is that I think the president looks inward, find a young, vibrant, someone who has the energy and the capacity to be able to put together something. I'm sure there are some good officers within the DEA. Or bring a fresh face, somebody who brings that vigor and credibility. Maybe even link up with the Americans. I mean, get some recommendations on Liberians who they may want to, because they are our number one partners in that, in that sphere. But I think I agree. I think it's a consensus that ABN, Fadiga, and the other guy cannot work together. I think let the president cut them loose. I support Kelabo. I think let them take a breather from public service. It's too early. They've only been in government for 5 months and they almost 1K themselves. Just imagine what they will do in a year. If you even send them to another government functionary, I think they need to take a 2 years break. Let them marinate. Let them take in this thing, because government service is a privilege. It's not a right. When you are chosen from among thousands of Liberians and given an opportunity to serve, you take that and you serve to the highest standard. So I think they need to take a break, all of them, let them go hibernate for the next 2 years, and then they may be able to come back. I'm not saying they should never serve their country again. I'm just saying take a 1 or 2 year break, bring in some new blood, bring in some new energy, and let's see some productive and progress and forward-thinking forward-thinking approach towards the fight against drug. But I would I would end on that note. But like I say, watch out for Ellis Jones and the Cummings, and the Moneybar collabo in the effort to bring down Ellis Cummings. I'm telling you.
Don't do that, Ben. Don't do that. You don't start to sow this kind of seed. We are not that.
But you that I to talk. Are you
closing?
Are you closing now?
Is that my time to close?
Yeah. I will cut
you closing? No, you closing?
Okay, I'm about to close. Now,
okay,
what I will say, look at him. I will forgive you, God. I got love for you, brother. So I will forgive you. Yeah, but let me say this. Look, I think that there was a Dave Jackley, right? He used to be, he was working for we are government. I think he did DEA, and then he was suspended.
I told you in your chat room. I told you in your chat room.
Dave Jackley, I think President.
I know where that recommendation coming from. That Dave Jackley recommendation.
That's my recommendation. Or we can bring Mr. Gonklo. I mean, he has a broom. He will be able to sweep that whole place. Gonklo is a very he will be able to do that. So, I also, if Honorable Bwaka decide that he's looking at Moneybar in like he can bring Dr. Moneybar. Dr. Moneybar is already doing this thing in Liberia, but just that he's not working on the drug side. He's taking youth and he's changing their lives. He's mentoring them into the right direction. So, I'm not going to look at any political leader and put them on some kind of pedestal. I don't do that. I don't worship individual. My focus is Liberia. I want Liberia to be great. I want the country to be better than it ever was when I was a child, and I look forward to that. And I think the right leader that will lead Liberia forward will be Dr. Karen Stay Moneybar. Thank you.
Meanwhile, again, let's say again, you are welcome to advertise on the closing argument. We are free for business. Come to us. We're going to advertise your business. We'll talk about your business on the show. Our show is being watched throughout Liberia on the 2 major radio stations, True FM, Hard FM, and across the country. So feel free. Contact anybody on this show, and they will help you to.
Can we project after everybody? Can we project the Front Page Africa
and also
the Front Page Africa heading? Because they are predicting that there were 50 agreements, nearly 50 agreements and memorandums of understanding to promote trade, energy, and minerals, but Liberia is yet to announce one. So 50 agreements, financing agreements, trade agreements.
In South Korea?
In South Korea, yes.
But no, part of that, probably South Korea, the Front Page is trying to preempt what's going to happen. Yeah, is it? When those agreements are out, there is a technical process.
Closing comment.
Closing.
Granted.
This guy is Robin.
Granted. No, sorry. It's okay. It's okay, Ben.
This guy you want to defend is equal.
When those agreements are,
you want to defend is so Korean.
No, it's not about defending him. It's about partisan process. It's a partisan mechanism. There is a technical note verbal that will have to be done.
Note verbal.
Yeah, there is. We have to do
that. But the body language.
No, but yeah, that instrument will have to go through the system and coordinated through the 2 nations, because part of our bilateral relationship that are susceptible between the both countries for more than 10 decades, 6 decades, also provide that before those things come through, there have to be a note verbal. I can recall.
So Sarah Leone note verbal went through. Kenya,
of course, the working will be done. Yes, Ben.
All right, you're sorry.
I can recall the former foreign minister of Liberia, Bezonga Fine, when we did this thing in about the Hungarian government. There was this issue about the scholarship that we're benefiting from now. There was a technical detail that was done through a note verbal, right? So that was done when we met the foreign minister of Hungary. I can recall that was a clear process. The process went into Hungary and in Budapest and the rest of that. So that process will have to be done. Mind you, the Bureau may benefit from some of those things, but the appropriate process will have to be done to have these things in a more workable process. I'm not here to say I'm the spokesperson of the foreign policy spokesperson of this government, but I'm trying to put in the realistic process that Liberia may not be abandoned into the whole South Korea African partnership. No, it's not the case, and that's the same way when we, our government, went in 2019 to China. When we went to the first process, we benefited from the crossover. That eventually the Chinese government had some issue with us because the way we treated them at the United Nations when we voted and interfere into the process of the human rights issue. That's how they suspended the construction of the overhead bridge along the ministerial complex, the rest of that. So there'll be a lot of diplomatic instruments behind the scene. We have to complete those instruments, and the rest of the process is going to be done. Now, quickly before I land here, the president, the whole debate here this evening about the DEA, the LDEA, is solely going to be rested on the shoulder of the president. We may impute our own opinion necessarily, but the president is going to come out and make his final decision. And that's why the Constitution gives him the authority to do that. All of our thought processes not going to abrogate the Constitution and the rest of that. The president is going to implement his rule and to take the decision come what may, either to suspend or, but my serious process here is that AB is not going to be let go from this process. I'm very convinced that AB is going to stay at the DEA. The two gentlemen are going to leave. Here's what I believe. AB is going to play a strategic role into the security process in the country. He being one of those, and that's the reason why Liberian leader will always, President Salih, I can recall, said this before. In a conversation with her, I asked Madam Salih, why did you bring AB back? 5 minutes. Briefly, when AB was dismissed from the police as Deputy Chief of Operation, he was reappointed by President Salih. Yes. And I asked her, why did you do this? And the president said clearly, you need the old hands, the experienced guy in the business. And we investigated, we found out that AB was just doing his job. It was propaganda people brought against it. That's why I took the action first, but I realized. So I believe AB is going to stay. But it's going to be the prerogative of the president of the republic to take the decision. But I think it's not all over for us in Seoul. There's a lot of things that may come out for us. Wow. And lastly, in 5 seconds.
Yeah, my man. Yeah, but
5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. I think Mr. Moruba is a very decent gentleman. The role Mr. Moruba played for the former president of our country, that was the president delivery unit. That office controlled a lot of major process and project in our country. It's a very thing, major political job. Unlike coming that just
who does gonna man?
Shut up.
But the manager, I think, shut
the system. So unlike
yeah, we don't do that yet. We don't do that yet.
Yeah, unlike Cummings, I didn't do that. I have not decided yet to decide if I will support. I have not decided quickly. I have not decided to say if I will support Monuba, but I got the inclination that he's going to be a very extraordinary person in terms of discussion.
I respect Kiwi from the
meanwhile,
Tell me say something.
Yeah.
I thought he did. As soon as said money by the
we got Telvi, we got Ellis June, we got Calabo, then Peabody.
Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you all very much for the show.
2 minutes now. 2 minutes. Watching the time.
You see that again?
We got great.
All right.
We got Pee-wee. So
Ben, I've been writing columns for Front Page Africa 10 years ago. Go look at it. Okay, I've been writing for Daily Observer. My papers are published.
10 years ago, maybe you were in a corner when I said
it. No, go on Google. It's not yesterday.
But when the yesterday. Listen, no. Yeah, kind of front area. The mentioning kind of play. Alex, why is not true? It's not true. You shouldn't say that. That's not true.
Why you say you were doing?
No, the people taking my
video. In the corner.
Yeah, maybe.
All right.
You don't know.
Alex,
he said maybe
provided you a platform, and you came out to discredit them.
Which platform I discredited?
You're writing. They provided the opportunity to write.
No, because I'm an objective writer. Not because I publish with you, that means I will lie and I will go and protect you just if you don't do the right thing. Even this platform I criticize.
Came back and discredit Front Page.
No. It's been discredited because of the action. That's what okay. I tell you, you guys gotta give me some more chance here. All right.
Go ahead.
All right.
You got 2
So
minutes.
thank you very much. Let me first of all, I put in the comments
I
what
know that
MLB
Lofa
is
Julius
about.
win that one.
MLB has been around for almost
Yeah,
5
look at
years.
I was doing that.
Okay, the
Yeah,
movement to make
put all kinds
Liberia
of comment up.
better
Sorry, Ellis.
is a development think tank and pressure group that is working to foster
What do you
dialogue,
expect? We dey
discussion,
protest
and
here.
debate among local, national, and international leaders and stakeholders of Liberia. That's not new. That was not created yesterday. We have been doing this for a very long time. So I'm not deterred, and I continue to do this. And those who feel that I'm going away, you got something else coming to you. I'm not going nowhere. I will be right here. My views will not be suppressed. I will talk about any political leader, anybody who wants to run Liberia. I will write about it however way I please, because you know what? Somebody has to say the truth. Some people are not bored. They are not afraid. Okay? So going back to my original statement, we have had leaders in our country who just want to be president. They don't participate. They don't run any Liberian organization. They don't hear anything. It's preposterous. Okay? You live in America here. Nobody just get up and say, oh, they don't want to be president, and you just jump behind them. They must have a record of doing something in the public. From Barack Obama, what are that community service? What are that be running for senator, representative, minister? When I brought this suggestion, it's not something personal with comments. I criticize Ben, I criticize Joseph Walker, I criticize everybody. So if you sit down and say, oh, I'm obsessed about one political leader, you're out of your mind. Go and read. So I totally feel, one, my closing comment, Liberia should not recycle. Some of the people who want to run the country, let's start putting them in position. Maybe it may not be the LDA. Paul Cummings to a central bank or somewhere. Let him prove to the Liberian people that he cares for Liberia rather than the presidency. That is not a reasonable suggestion. And if you're someone who thinks that is an attack, then you need to go back to school, because that is saying that this man has certain skills and he can utilize those skills for his country. You can't love your country only to say, if I'm not president, then I want any position. So, and that applies to all of us here. I'm not on this show because I'm not popular. People know me. I've already got my own platform. I got other stuff. I'm here because I cannot preach a message and then don't participate in the public, don't help change, don't help do things that will empower the country and make suggestions and recommendations. That's why I'm here. And that's my recommendation for Dr. Monoba should consider it if they get him in that position. But more importantly, Burger should appoint Cummings to something. Let him leave for America, let him go and work in government so that the Liberian people can see his performance. Say he thinks it's easy. Thank you very much.
Alex, you still running?
Tonight. And I look forward to you again on
But
Friday.
Ellie did run before.
Alex, you still running for president?
Alex never read before.
I'm running my
Alex
organization
ran with
right
his
now.
mouth. That all he ran with
Closing
was
argument.
They're not getting
I'm
Okay, I got a
productive.
vocal. Can we go?
No, go ahead.
Let me go, man. Y'all be talking what here? Let me talk.
Yeah, let
Tommy go.
All right, I'll let you go because Tom don't want him to go. You go.
Thank you. No, I won't be long. A cool show though. Even though I was driving and listening to a good show. Again, let me reinforce because I heard people saying I was breaking. Let me reinforce on the AB and what's his name, Fadega. Again, like most people said, they both should go. AB. Like I said, for that night exemplifying good leadership, even when provoked, we don't care what it's Liberia. He was in the workplace. It doesn't matter Liberia, America. He was in the workplace, and he sets the tone for the agency, and so he needed to exemplify good leadership skills. They're all fine gentlemen, like I said. Intelligent, well schooled, but that's half of the way. You got to have emotional intelligence. You must have intelligent quotient to be successful in leading. So both of them didn't exemplify that. I mean, what's it? Fatiga only it's just worse. Listening to him is just troubling for even us in the diaspora who even want to even volunteer in any way. How can they be even accommodating to us when we come with such arrogance to say, oh, I'm this, I'm this and this. Those are some of the things we do that what the Liberian people are now open to us when we enter the space, because we're not culturally sensitive to know that the way we do things here, totally different way in Liberia. Even here, that they're just telling way as leaders, you know, you can't do that. As hot as I am, in my workplace as a team lead, you'll be surprised how mellow I am. Because, you know, sometimes you're just like, we're not going there. You gotta show leadership. So both of them, I don't care how, you know, experienced, AB know the ground. They're not the only qualified Liberians. The broadcast should look within, look without, like Ben and others said. Look within, look without. You know, there are Liberians that I know that are working here with law enforcement. You know, that they may not be doing drugs, they're doing law enforcement. Get them. Or even in Liberia, there's fine gentlemen in Liberia. Not everybody corrupt in Liberia. Like most think that once you're working in government, you are corrupt. No, get the people on the ground. You know, you need an old mat to plot new. So get somebody who's been there for many years working with that, and then pick somebody from here and let them work together. If we bring those two together, y'all say your face flower that between Liberia with, something will happen again with Tony because that bad blood is still there. That Ben said, I think somebody else said, take them totally. Just the what do you think? The optics, like I'm choking. The optics alone in the international space to know that two heads, two leadership fighting the workplace doesn't look good. So take them completely out. You know, let people get a fresh breath, you know, a breath of fresh air. Bring new people to do the work. As far as money back, y'all let me drink small. As far as money back, giving you all together. Money back, like I said, he's a fine gentleman. Look at what role Manasari had in working in somewhat like finance, business related. That's his strength. You always want to put people to the place that place of strength. They will excel more. They will be their best. You can't take money by go being, you know, point of T and he has no experience, even if he like it, you know, even if he has interest, you know, because I tell people to talk about drugs in school or whatever it is, so that I mean I qualify to go be a drug leader. No, put him somewhere else. And that whole mentality that somebody will call you for you to work, if money must serious to lead or you know, Mr. Cummings or anybody else, start, just go and start working. When they see your work, so a good leader will bring you on board. But nobody is supposed to call you, especially where you want to model leadership, you want to lead a country. Nobody should call anybody. So that's all I have to say. One more last thing, please, guys. You know I'm a talker. But you know, I'm measuring y'all with Spoon TV, and you guys are on the right footing. And y'all know me, I'm very big with best practice and giving your feedback. I think y'all need to be tolerant. Some of the panelists to be tolerant to opposing views. Be tolerant, even if they irk them. Like I said, if it's juking you, respect your panelists, respect your callers, let them talk. You know, and even when they talk, just be respectful of opposing views and not be disruptive or just be disrespectful to them. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All
right, thank you. I think my views on the LDA issue is well established. I don't need to go back to that, but I like to pick it, you know, to talk a little bit on Rawa Gawa argument, and I think the sister here, you know, briefly talk about that. You know, the thing is, there is something about critical optimism. That you should be optimistic, but you also should assess your challenges critically. And I think this is one of the important things that those of us who leave the diaspora and go back home to work will lack. We just have the optimism that we're going back home to change, but we don't have that critical lenses to view the challenges we're going to face. You know, what happened, like Fadiga was talking about, look, here is what I would say. For me, I grew up in the village, and we have a saying in the village among the elders that when you get to the village and people have been living there for 20 years, 100 years, do not criticize, don't say to them, you're drinking dirty water, I'm digging water for you, don't drink the water again. Because they've been drinking that water for 100 years. You can take them away from drinking that dirty water by even sitting with them and making them, teaching them, communicating with them in a certain way that they will understand that, oh, where we're drinking the water from is not a good place to drink water. But most people get back in Liberia, they go there with this mentality that they go and they have this know-it-all approach. They get in the ministry and they want to do it, you know, and it's wrong. I left from here when I worked by home. I left from here when I even went in the academia, I was teaching. And my approach to teaching was different. And I was teaching back home. I was this fearful math teacher from Tomalin High, so tell you that, oh, this guy is no nonsense. You got to, memorize. You got to. But when I came to the US and I started to teach, the focus is on the students. The student must understand your lesson. They must perform. You have to break your lesson down. Whereas back home, the focus is on the teacher. The teacher must just teach, and you put the responsibility on the student to study. You walk away. So I went back home. My approach in the classroom was different. And students used to leave and say, oh, this guy came from America. He make the lesson simple. In fact, he doesn't give hard tests. He can give test lead where we should study. I said, but this is what I was taught. When I came to grad school, they didn't take one big book and say, study all the book. The teacher said, yes, focus this, focus here. And you have, once you did your homework, you are sure that on the test you do well. Okay? And I took that same approach home and it started to work for me. So I think people should have that. You should be culturally competent, not because you come from one culture, you go back and see where you come from is superior to the other culture. No, you're not going to change. The governor of Liberia has some positive things that are happening too. Yes, there are many negative things, but that's some positive things. And I hope Alex Jones will know. Not everything in Liberia is deplorable. There are some good things there. But we need to change something. But we have to have a way how to do it. That would be my take on this.
Okay. 52% of Liberians say the president should remove all the directors and his 2 deputies. 48% say the president should maintain them, and 10% says.
Okay. Where's that survey coming from?
Meanwhile, Liberia played in South Africa today against Namibia. The score was 1-1. Namibia scored
talking about this team that go nowhere. Why you keep
Liberia equalized in the 66th minute.
The team doing what recent time?
We're doing right. Everything.
The other piece they say one of the Liberian players went missing.
No, that's not true.
No, it was confirmed that it's not true.
But let me do my closing, man.
Yeah, Peabody, go ahead.
Why we take concentration on Lone Star? They will draw in other countries and whip them home.
But that's still our team, man.
Lone Star. That's for the 20-year team. But let me do my closing, man. Look, I think what we saw here was lack of discipline. I've seen that in Liberia. I've seen people at the airport, especially our brothers and sisters when they come from here. And when those Keff got to stop posting this. When the immigration guys ask them for the documents, some of them will be so disrespectful to them in Liberia only because I'm from the US, and I had to ask you one guy one time when the immigration guy asked him for his green card on his way back to the States, and he refused to give the guy a green card. And I said to him, this is very disrespectful. You need to do that. You won't do that anywhere in the US. And then we got into a real serious altercation. I think sometimes we need to respect, not because they are back home, or that mentality of that you are more advanced or better than they are. I don't think it's a good thing. I think we need to demonstrate respect all over. I think what we saw at the DEA was a complete disgrace to the country. Now, you don't even have a leader. The place is in disarray. You don't know how many drugs is being carried across the country tonight because of the nonsense that happened. Leadership. There's no leadership right now. I think President Bouaka needs to step in. I think they need to be fired. The president was in Seoul meeting with other African world leaders, and the news, the BBC, and the social media everywhere they are reporting that the DA officer were fighting among themselves. How do you expect your president to look in the gathering? That's a shame. You brought disgrace to the president. I don't think suspension is enough. They should be fired and put somebody who is competent to lead in place. But right now, our DAs, they are looking out for leader. And who will bring leadership to the folks there? In the meantime, the drug cartel are rolling the drugs and things tonight. They're selling it and making the money. Because
there's an officer in charge, Peabody. I think there's an officer in charge.
Yeah, that's somebody temporarily.
The left and
I hope President Boakai will fire them and bring somebody new in place. That's not the only job they can find. They don't go somewhere. I mean, the guy is a DA agent. He can come back. A.B. Kurman has multiple security firms in Liberia. He can go back to business and be a good businessman. I think he was doing very well with his security agency. And that's my closing.
For my closing is that quickly a question just out there. Yes or no, please. Should the president interfere in his youth ambassador Wadahala? Should he interfere in it?
I said, yeah. Let me tell you now one quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Should he interfere or should he
No, he shouldn't. It's none of his business. That's domestic. That's those domestic affairs. If somebody feel injured, like the baby mom or ex-wife or whatever traditional wife, let her go to court. All of that woman just on character assassination and trying to get attention and all of that. If she feel injured, let her go to court. Y'all don't entertain. Your platform should be entertained.
Somebody quickly.
But tell me, why the president appointing a Senegalese to be an ambassador in our country? It is legal.
It is legal.
So let me they are public figure. They are public figure.
Yo, when I sit there, I'll tell you, I can get what you're talking about. So no, two separate issues. So we're talking about the civil matter where the woman said you stole my man.
No, I'm not going to talk into that.
That's what I said. You don't encourage your platform for that. The president
I'm not going to talk into that. I'm not going to talk about the Senegalese
issue. People should interfere, right?
The issue of the Hebrew ambassador, the man said it's a volunteer work. He said he's volunteering. They never get in position. He says it's a volunteer work. And you know how everybody can misuse that ambassador thing. Did you see any official communication from the office of the president saying, I appoint this man as ambassador John Doe? Did you?
Yeah, there was.
Let me say this quickly.
Can I come in? If it is true, then it needs to be probed further.
Let me say that quick.
I believe it need to be probed.
I gotta run.
You allowed the little to talk.
I beg you, I gotta run. I just want to state something quickly. I do not believe the president should get involved in Magdala Cooper's marriage and all that thing. Listen, I listened to this lady. What are you looking for? I want him to divorce me before I do. That's not our president business, right?
I don't think we should get involved in that though.
It's not our president business to determine when you divorce or who divorced who. If he treat you bad in the marriage, listen, go to a civil court, whatever you will. I don't think the president should even give this an iota of his attention. He got too many things to worry about. It's total. And I also don't think we should even give it any credence. On the issue of appointing this Kebe guy, there's nothing illegal about it. Kebe is an African. He's a man of Negro descent. He probably has been awarded Liberian citizenship.
He's a citizen now.
If he's been awarded Liberian citizenship, he's a Liberian. The president of Liberia has the power by the Constitution to appoint whoever he wants to appoint.
I disagree.
But people, let me finish, please. Election have consequences. They do.
Okay.
If you don't want a president to appoint a Senegalese Liberian, then maybe run for president or support somebody who will not do it. But I will say this. If this man has taken up a Liberian citizenship and the president deems it within his wisdom that he can help his administration, there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing illegal about it. And I think for me, that's my position. I'm not even going to waste my time on it.
Yeah, first committee and beyond the president, also beyond him, let's agree that he's not citizen of the country. The executive law, there be some amendment process there from 1972, but the president of the Republic of Liberia also got the right to appoint a non-citizen to play a particular role in setting government.
Of course, he does. Yeah,
the president got that.
The president does have it.
Yeah, the president got it. So that's not the issue. And even before I left the foreign ministry, there was this debate around the president appointing honorary counsel and the rest of that. The president can appoint an American, white American, even of not Negro descent, to be an ambassador at large for the Republic. and that person was sourced out.
But I don't think there's. No, let me tell you that, guys.
That is
no
not a
debate
debate.
about that.
1 minute, Mr. Goldman, before you come in, please.
The Elena conferred Liberian citizenship. The Elena gave Linda Thomas Greenfield a diplomatic passport when she was leaving.
She did.
Exactly. And
she did.
And the
She
president
conferred
can
on
also
her Liberia's highest honor and gave her a Liberian diplomatic passport.
Can
No,
we
but
finish
there's
the
nothing wrong with
can,
that. There's
the
nothing
president
wrong
can
with
also
that.
confirm.
The labor
The
law.
president can also. The president can
Labor
also
law.
confirm
Looking at a practicing already. Law. Labor law.
The president can also
See, I want to talk
confirm
about labor law.
immediate
What kind of
citizenship,
labor law is practicing in our
immediate
country?
citizenship with no consultation. So the president got a lot of, and that's why Article 50. We need to take some time and go read certain portion of the law, the executive law. Before that, the 1876 law. The president of the Republic of Liberia, and that's why Article 50. We don't. The intensity of Article 50 is huge. It said the executive power is vested in the president of the Republic of Liberia.
You're progressive.
So we're gonna play. When it comes to the romantic,
the issue here is that the president should not get involved in that.
May I give my views?
That's not thing. That romantic thing.
That's law. I don't think the president should be involved, and we should not get in the middle of it. We shouldn't.
Grace, you want to go
absolutely.
first? Go ahead.
Yeah.
We should not get involved.
I should speak now.
No, I should speak.
All right, Grace speak because you are Dr.
I don't know what is between the two of them. Between somebody account, other person angry.
I want to see the title of that.
Let Grace speak because she Dr.
For our political party.
Okay, so now I understand everybody and I agree somehow, some way. But then we look at the president, his judgment in this whole matter from the get-go of his campaign. This was a scandal. This thing being all about everywhere. So if a president who have real good judgment will not appoint this kind of woman to that extent in his government with this kind of baggage behind her that steals the presidency, and that's just the truth. So now this is a personal matter, but morally, the baggage that the woman has been sinking for almost 6 years into this thing, that Bettina Cooper actually stole her husband. They were best friends. They were best friends. Morally, with a woman that have that kind of, that she got organizations having programs helping women. Let's just be fair. For a young girl to see that happen, and that woman in that kind of position, closer to our president, and this kind of scandal, it steals the government a lot. So President Barker needs to tell Major Cooper to fix her domestic affairs and therefore walk away from the job, resign. That's the right thing to do because it's bringing too much attention for her domestic life, bringing too much attention to his presidency. And her husband being higher in that position while she's in government is also the labor laws that, as Kadabu said, that's nepotism, right? She's not supposed to. She's in government and her husband is in government. So I don't know the real labor laws in Liberia, but usually the case is that for her to be in that kind of position and then her husband appointed as an ambassador, it shows that this is a family kind of thing, friendship thing.
No problem, Grace.
This is not fair to the country.
Is it when you see
Ash, it's my time to talk.
Nepotism is happening right in Great America. What are you?
Let me tell you, it's my time to talk.
Exactly.
Grace, I did not speak about labor law. I did not speak about labor law the way you spoke. And I'm going to come back. Last show.
I'm sorry, I didn't call your name. Seriously.
The last show, Grace made a statement here. And I think I commented on in the chat room that I think the Monaba administration would be dangerous to constitutional rule. And this is one classic example.
And I disagree with you on that.
Our president to get involved in domestic matter.
I disagree with that. If the domestic matter is stealing the government, they have to make sure that this thing, Metella have to go
back. So Grace, what I was trying to say about labor law that I didn't say.
It's Friday. Let's get going.
Grace,
Aaron, come to the show, Aaron.
Oh my God.
It's too shaky. We talking
All right.
So President Monimba will be judging all the
But guys, can we go one at a time, please?
Harry, please I need to talk to Grace. Grace can't let me to talk.
Let me tell something about two people working, two husband and wife working in the same government, even this great America. I have worked in state government for almost 8 years. I don't work now. Where husband and wife work for the same agency. If they're not directly reporting to the same boss, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. They're not reporting to worker. She's not. Okay. She's not reporting directly to the. Both of them not reporting to worker. Nothing wrong with that. She got different. You know, he's doing different things. She's doing different things.
No, tell. They both reported worker.
No.
Bwaka, no, she's right. Bwaka is the one.
Listen, hold on here now.
There's nothing wrong.
Hold on. Let me tell you why they both report.
I'm talking about direct boss.
Yes, but direct boss, Marcella Cooper. Listen now. You're listening. You can make your point, but let other people make their point. Mandela Cooper, listen. Mandela Cooper job is the political advisor to the president. She reports directly to the president.
I get that one.
The ambassador for sports reports directly to the president.
Yes.
He does not report to anybody. So I'm not disputing the other things that you said.
There's no nepotism here. Nothing wrong with that.
Now, let me say this. Let me say this.
Okay, guys. We'll see you on Friday.
Good night.
Friday.
The way you can just cut people off.
She needs to settle seriously. Senior president.
Listen. I believe that they should broadcast should suspend both of them. We already put up a press statement, and the reason is that in government you should have honorable people and you should have ethics. Okay, there have been people governing here in America that resign for sleeping with prostitutes.
Thank you.
Breaking the law or having girlfriend. They leave the hospital. Hold on.
We'll get love on the job.
There have been presidents, there have been public officials that had left government jobs. Listen, there have been public officials that had to resign. There have been public officials that had to resign because of extramarital affairs.
Why you gotta cry?
It doesn't have to be a crime. It's
in life. If you don't steal from somebody, you're not get married.
Yeah, Liberian people got no ethics. Liberian people got no morals. So anything goes. Anybody
you just said that? Can I say you just said if you don't steal from somebody, you will not get married? Then they got bad.